All right, the recording cut off once again. That was the video just finalized. It took a while to upload that. Now it's a few hours later, and here I am resuming again with. Okay, now where the last video left off, discussing what happened in the room there, in the hall, in my apartment. All right, and then my mom ran out, and then Kat's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." So she goes out after, and what was I saying? So I have Kat go upstairs. So the woman, obviously she doesn't listen to men when men tell her. So alternately, the only other thing is that now woman will go talk to woman. You see, so you can't be dumb with everybody, but you're supposed to listen to men. But when you don't listen to men, at least there will a woman fucking move your mind correctly. Well, really, in hindsight, the answer is no. So this one's too broken. There's no listening anywhere. Sometimes a human being is just too dysfunctional to help and save. But regardless, so the cat runs out eventually. She was shocked at my insinuation that any police would be involved at all. I said, "Watch me. Watch what happens." So I said, in the meantime, I said, "I'm going for a walk. I'm not gonna sit here and be fucking bait for what?" Because she is twisted enough that she doesn't honor family. She honors Caesar. She honors herself. You get it? She honors her twisted idea of what's right and not right, not the actual, real what's right and not right. Like God said what's right. So he goes up. I leave. I walk out of here. I go for a walk around the neighborhood and just, again, I'm like, God, hurt her till she learns. Then it'll be good. See? Beautiful. I come back. Finally, I meet up with Kat. And she's like, "All right, let me tell you what happened. John, you won't believe it. Really, I had a really unbelievable experience, and I cannot even process or understand how it's possible that I just witnessed what I witnessed." I said, "Yeah, go ahead, tell me." She says, "So, first of all, I went upstairs, and I was there with your mom, and kind of trying to, half, not disrupt too much, and on the other hand, to try to talk a little bit of sense into her, if at all it was possible, to see if she's flexible in any way, to not be dumb." And I'm just listening. Now, first thing is first. She said while she was up there, I believe this may have been the first time that she, I don't recall for sure whether this was the first time or not, that she met this boyfriend of hers, of my mom's. Possibly, maybe yes, maybe no. She doesn't have either way, whether it was or it wasn't. They don't have a lot of experience meeting each other or getting to know each other, right? She only heard from me that I don't like him, and she, heard the stories as to why. She didn't experience the dislike herself, so she only has, an understanding of how I feel about him, and she has no particular feelings. Now, she's upstairs, and she says, "By the way, that boyfriend of hers?" I'm like, "Yeah." She says, "I fucking hate that guy." And I say, "Oh, really? Wow, why do you hate him all of a sudden? That's very interesting, because you didn't know him and you didn't have any basis to feel any particular way about him beyond what you've heard me say that I feel about him in a not good way." She says, "That guy's a fucking bitch. I hate that guy." I was like, "Yeah, I'm happy to hear that," I said, "but what happened that brought you to feel this way?" She said, I was there talking with your mom, and this guy was there, except he didn't come out to discuss or talk or get involved. He was in the room hiding behind the curtain. And I said, yes, I believe that makes sense. That's what I've seen him do my whole life too. He just hides there. Okay, I said, so what? She says, well, he continued to be there. And then, as I'm talking with your mom a little bit, you know, not too much, because your mom is acting like there's some big drama, like something is so wrong, and I'm trying to like just very softly and subtly try to talk some sense into her, like, you know, maybe there's a little, you know, calm down maybe, or maybe there's a different perspective here you're not understanding. And I say, all right, so then what happened? She said, well, then the mom's boyfriend peeks out from behind the curtain, leans around through it, but like still kind of hiding behind it, but like comes out a little bit just to stick his head out to me, and to basically tell me the message, you see that, what happened there? The same thing is gonna happen to you. And then after that, he moved his head back and just went right behind the curtain again. I said, really? She said, yeah. I've never had any idiot come out from behind a curtain and basically insinuate or imply threatening things that will be happening to me anywhere in my life. So this is a very offensive thing to be saying to anybody. I said, you're right, number one. And number two, he's wrong. I'm not going to do anything to anybody else who isn't acting as stupidly as my mom is. All acts are merited, is what you people can't seem to realize. Morons. And only my mom was the one who ever merited such stupidity, because of the stupidity that came from her first. So, I'm listening more, and she says, yeah, like he's basically threatening me. And I'm like, yeah, kind of like, yeah, he's like telling you like that bad things are going to happen to you as a result of your natural course of action. Just to imply that something's going to happen terrible and then it's going to be my fault. Like, that's ugly. She said, yeah, that's a very ugly thing to do. He didn't even see anything. She was very upset because you were there. She's like, I saw it, and I disagree with the actions that your mom took, and I was fucking in the middle of it. And I said, at least, well, thank you. At least you're on my side. She's like, yeah, not for no reason. I'm kind of glad I saw that. I saw both sides. I'm the girl. She's like, I'm a girl. You would think that the girl would side with the girl. I'm not siding with her, with your mom. That was really fucked up what she did, and how she went all about it. Is an ugliness. No one would side with her for that. There's a betrayal. It's fundamentally ugly to do against your son. What the hell? I was like, thank God you were here. She said, yeah, I really see now why you have a problem with her. I really don't like what I saw myself. I'm very sorry you have to go through that, John. I said, yes, now you understand. So I said, what else? Well, he ran behind the curtain after he said this. It wasn't as if we could have a conversation, that he came out to join us and talk. He simply shot out his head, said this to me to basically insult me, and then hid again behind his curtain. For that, I've never seen any man do that. No real man will talk to you like this, hide and behind a curtain and yelling out and hiding again. That's very low. As soon as I saw his behavior there, my level of respect for that guy was completely eliminated, gone. And I said, yeah, I felt the same way about him since the beginning, for exactly the same reason. Ever since he started showing around, he was like a little clam who hid behind things and didn't become involved, only hid and then emerged only to throw negativity before he would retreat again. So no human being will like you, would like such a person for that. She's like, yep, John, you and I now are really on the same page. I see it all the way you see it. I wasn't sure, I only heard stories, but when I see it with my own eyes, it's like, yeah, this is exactly as insane as John said it was. Fucking amazing. Wow. So, that's number one. Number two, though, is the fact that the police John, you're right again. The police were already called first immediately. Uh-huh. Okay. As soon as, you know, we were already talking, police showed up real quick. I said, yeah, I know. I saw them when I was walking outside, too. Yeah. So, what else, Kat? And she continues on. She said, and then it gets even worse. You see, it wasn't just about, you know, telling about what happened and whatever. The police actually wanted to find you. I said, yeah, I wasn't around in the building. They said, I know. But it didn't stop them from attempting to find you. And guess what? I said, what? She said, your mother helped them. What? Yeah. Your mother basically led them to the apartment, allowed them to come in through the open door, and encourage the police officers in a free and unrestricted manner to operate and look around your entire apartment trying to look for you. They were opening up closet doors to check if you were hiding inside of them. Uh-huh. And I was like, yep. All this stuff, remember from years ago, oh, we're so sorry, oh, don't call felony police on us, oh, we'll do anything, we'll be nice, I'll read 15 books, I'll learn the new way, I'll reprogram my brain. You can't. Psychopaths don't reprogram. They only continue to show contempt for the other human being, whoever it is that they're dealing with. They don't understand dignity. They only read about it in books, and then like chameleons, they try to mask in society by acting the part. They don't feel the real love for you. They only mimic because they have neurons that are broken. We all hate them for that. It's a small percentage of the population that are like this, and they're disgusting. The war will never end on this earth. Will always be normal people versus psychopaths. Fucking idiots. And the general cluster B types of problematic things and types of people. So I say, what else? She says, yeah. And then after that, and they couldn't find you, so they were actually sort of frustrated because they expected to just, you know, like they're God, they're going to come and snap their fingers and everybody helps them. And your mom actually helped her. She's like, I can't believe your mom betrayed you. She betrayed you in like multiple ways, like consecutively in rapid succession, one after another. I'm like, yeah, oh, that's normal. That's programmed like that from a young age. It's just my dignity didn't exist in that family. There's the most abusive type of families where they don't honor your dignity. They don't acknowledge it. It's just, you're just a thing. You're there even when you're an adult. She was like, dude, you're almost 30. How are they still treating you like you're not as important as they are? I said, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. They don't treat me like I'm just as important as they are. She said, yes, that much is very clear. They come before you. That's why all the problems exist. They don't understand you are the same as them. Exactly that. So she said, here's where it gets even worse. Obviously, this is starting to attract attention. Now, if she really cared about you, she wouldn't allow your manifestation in this world to come out and be portrayed as a negative type of manifestation. I said, yes, I know that. Of course, I agree. You are correct. That's obvious. She said, yeah. So most parents wouldn't ever dream to allow something like this to become perpetuated simply because the very look of it will damage your family, so you don't allow the damaging to even be possible. Except for Barbara Winslow. She brings these police officers outside, or they all walk out together. Then they begin talking outside. All while this is all happening, this is attracting so much attention that the neighbors are sticking out their bald heads from the various third floor windows and looking out and pointing and talking amongst themselves. And I am there watching all of this, and I looked at them and I was like showing my displeasure that they are even looking out. I was like, what are you fucking looking at? Like, go mind your fucking business. Why you dare to make fucking... Don't feed it the attention that it's trying to draw. Like, all of this is in dishonor of you, John. Why would your mom be at the cause of that? Because she's a scorpion, snake, lizard, reptile. She's not a person. A person wouldn't do that. A person would say, I love you, I'm sorry, you. And none of the other stuff would have happened. So she really got a front row seat at the craziness of what all of that was. And I was very upset too. I've had enough. Now, at that point, I said, look, they trespassed on me because they broke the agreement. There was an established agreement. There'd be no police again, and there'd be no dishonoring me again. So, number one, for breaking that, now I'm going to be involving my other parent, which for me was a big deal because I never involved my dad in any of this stuff. When I had issues at home with mom, they stayed private with mom. The first time in my life, I went to my father. I went with Kat because Kat was a witness to all of it. So she was there and able to vouch for me to say, yeah, Jeffrey Winslow, your son's not, baseless here. I was there. I saw it all from the beginning to the end. And there's a problem in that house. And, there's symptoms on both sides. But the root of it is that this woman isn't properly relating to her own son. That's your boy. And we both think you should be coming to learn about this. Now, he was very overwhelmed. He's on psychiatric disability himself, or he was when he was still alive. When he learned of all this was shocking information to him. He couldn't believe it. He was like, what? After about an hour of talk, he said, I need some alcohol to process all this. So he had some drinks, and then he said, well, in that case, we need to have a family meeting, and we need to have a family meeting right now. I said, thank God. See, that's someone who loves me. That's someone who honors you and properly treats you. My son is being mistreated by the other parent. We got to go talk about this right now. We got into a cab, and we went to Brooklyn to my house straight away. My father couldn't even walk properly. He needed a cane. He had lung issues. He had a lot of other issues. But he went, and he pushed through. And we ended up in my apartment. And finally, I called down my mom. And she didn't expect to see him, but there he was. And I said, yeah, so we're going to have a family talk now. Not about what the hell is going on in this family. Now, I couldn't catch my father up on all the details immediately, which require all the backstories where you see how many several hours, maybe a dozen hours of audio have been needed to tell the story fully here. I didn't have that luxury with my dad. So I had to give him a very, very shortened version of all this history. That's the relevant history, which correctly frames like podstav, like a base, to properly see this here is with the right filter, so that you could see what's going on that's not correct. So he's in the middle of it. He's expressing his displeasure, and he's saying, I don't want to see my son and his mother being having something like this crazy where it's police and it's fights and it's all like this. But what's the cause, and why does it keep happening like this? And I explained my part. And my father, well, he was half drunk already, so that didn't help. More it was the gesture about him being there, but of course with the alcohol, and he started getting a little too sloppy. And then we said, well, then maybe we're gonna have to just continue this another time when he's more sober, to slowly inform him about all the relevant history. Just like it's taken many hours on here, and it took many hours, many days to sit with him with many visits to give him all the story time all the way, like it's being done here. But while we were sitting together, I said, look, one thing to understand, there was a tacit agreement established that this guy was never going to be involved in anything that ever moved against me in any way imaginable, as of what happened before. Okay? I say, now, why was police called? Oh, I don't know, police got called. Okay, that's funny. Mom, let's see your phone. Now, when you ran upstairs, there's only two of you living there. You and him. I remember a time when I was 17 where there was some drama in the house, or 18, and you didn't make the decision to call police. He did, unilaterally. What I want to see is whether this was you who called the police, where your boyfriend smartly and properly said, well, I don't want to be involved, but you do what you got to do because I'm morally and ethically bound by the benefits I've received prior from him. I've waived my rights to be involved, and I'm not touching any of it. Or did he say, yes, let's call the police. Here, oh, my phone's in my pocket first, so I'll do the dialing. That's what I want to find out. So I say, let's see your phone, Mom. Did you call the cops or did he? She didn't answer. Already, if you don't answer, I know the answer. I know the answer. We open up her phone, we look at the list. Nothing there. No 911 call outgoing. She didn't go afterwards and delete it. That doesn't make sense. It wouldn't have been even on her mind. I said, so the 911 call came out from his phone, didn't it? She didn't answer. Hiding, trying to protect the bad one. You see? It's all about screwing you, but actually protecting. Make sure she does a good job really protecting. If you protected me the same way, then you would know what rightness is. Righteousness. So my father starts theorizing. He's like, oh, maybe when you call 911 it doesn't save on the phone. I'm like, that's not correct. Yeah, maybe it is. He's half drunk. He wasn't sure what he was talking about. She loved the idea, so she's like, yeah, what he says. You can't fool Fennebuck God, mortals. Stop even trying. I took out my phone. I called 911. 911. Oh, sorry, wrong number. Hung up. I'm like, yeah, see? Now let's go see if it's on my list. Look, it's on my list because I called it. See? It stays there. Of course it does. And I look at her phone again. It's not on your phone. 911 wasn't dialed from this phone. That's it. She just stood there silent. Didn't say nothing. So where she was aware of the agreement that was formed between me and them, she is a witness to the fact that this agreement was violated. I said, yo, I was gonna fucking kill this guy for knocking down my grandpa and making these other problems, and I was gonna send his ass to jail. He received the benefit of getting the grace of me not doing that in exchange for the agreement that he wasn't going to get involved in any manner directly. Wasn't that the case? So what the hell is this? That he was the one who fucking called, especially on something where he wasn't the witness and did know nothing. Therefore, he was the one who provoked and encouraged the situation to get pressed forwards along those lines. So therefore, he has just violated the ultimate covenant. Now that guy's my mortal fucking enemy. Level 10 death level enemy. But you fucking idiots chose that by the courses of action you took. How dare you fucking morons. And my father was really fucking, he didn't know what to say. He heard me say all this and explain it. And he knew I was right. So he didn't contradict me so much. All he could do was just saying, look, just stop fighting, guys. Oh my God. He couldn't disagree with anything I said outright. He was actually stunned. He was like, yeah, and just shrugging his shoulders. And of course, parents generally side against kids and side with each other. He tried to side a little bit at first with the mom, say, but she's your mother, so that's why she's your mother. But after more explanations, he was like, shrugged his shoulders eventually. And after a few weeks later of explaining things, he was like, you know what? I've heard everything you've had to say finally now. I can't defend her anymore. I tried to because she's your mother and I'm your father. But now that I've heard it all, I hate admitting this, John. But you're right. You're right and she's wrong. And I hate that I have to admit this, but I hear what you're saying. And that really hurts me inside, that your mom would be like this. That she would allow herself to end up in a position where she's wrong. Because that's her responsibility to never let that happen. And now you understand why you're not supposed to do these kinds of things and act out in this kind of way in life against the people you owe loyalty to. Now you understand. So, Do you think it ends there, guys? No. Where my father came in and basically called for peace. We spent that first initial evening basically, making some kind of agreements with each other. Because everybody's very angry, me most of all, righteously so, rightfully so. And after a lot of deliberation back and forth between that evening, where it was me and my dad and my mom, and then my dad slept. My dad slept over that night. I think the only time he ever slept over. And then the following morning, we had more discussion between her and me and him. Between those 2 days of discussion, from that same evening to the next following afternoon, we came to the agreement that everything will be stable for now. I agreed not to fucking blow up and kill these motherfuckers like I was inclined to practically. But I said, all right, well then if there's no more bullshit from them, I won't bring up anything else. And I'll redirect my energy from, it's just going to be long hours and weeks and days of explanation time again. Really, Dad, I'll be going to your house more to explain to you more deeply what happened, to fill you in. He's like, all right, you come around and you tell me more. Good. As for the family and the mom in this dynamic, this is bullshit. So I'm done with this. I'm withdrawing my attention from here. This is basically Satan hell home. This isn't the family, where they all worship the devil in substance through all this kinds of actions and living. And I'm not having this shit. But fuck this shit. But whatever. But we're all coming to an understanding and agreement. There's no more. We're calling some kind of ceasefire, so to speak. It's a truce. Everyone acknowledge. Okay. My mom acknowledged and agreed. Okay. Fine. No more antagonistic operational things against each other. Fine. Okay, we'll see. Kat might have been involved. I don't remember whether she was there. I think she left that night. She was like, by the time we talked to my dad, she was very supportive. But then afterwards, she was like, all right. And now because it's all family time, I'm respectfully going to bow out. And I'll hang out somewhere else. And maybe we'll get together another day. And then you catch me up. Okay. So, now, here's where things get crazy. Alright, there was a brief interruption. Resuming recording again now. And, I don't know, what was I just saying prior to that? I don't even remember. Alright, so this is the day after. My father and my mother concluding our 2-day-long meeting. And, we just had lunch ordered and brought around food. And we all got to sit down and talk and say, look, whatever the hell the problems are now, let everybody's side get heard, and if it's going to take more than just this one day stay here, because my father wanted to go home eventually, he said, well, everybody promises to keep the peace, and we'll hear out more thoroughly both sides, and we'll make our determinations. As I already indicated earlier, I said after weeks of hearing both sides, particularly the extensive details from my own side, it's very similar to how you're all hearing it now here. He said, yeah, eventually he had to admit he didn't want to be on my side. In the beginning, you're just like, I don't know, but it's your mother, so I can't say she's wrong. But then after weeks, it was like, dude, I cannot in good consciousness support what your mother did anymore. Not after everything I've heard now. Everything put in context now, it just looks like she's a crazy person doing one crazy thing after another. If you put out every detail like that, super magnified, it's like, now that does become clear to me. But my end of the bargain, I held it up. And this is now the next important phase. So what happens? I believe this was early February of 2020. Late January, going into early February. So this was like, right? Around the turn of the month there. Okay. I made it a personal policy decision at that point in time. I said, all right, look, there's not going to be any more bullshit, but if I say my word and I give it to my father especially, I'm going to keep it. So where my Father was the voucher in the middle who said, all right, well, everyone's gonna fucking calm down. No one's gonna mess with the status quo or make any further pushes or developments in any way, one way or the other way, so as to, mess with each other. Just chill out until we reconvene again to really certify and figure out how to best proceed forward from here. Now, we all agreed. And my mom especially, she was just kind of like, okay, so everything's nice. Her mood just lifted up again, as if everything was fine now. Okay, no problem. Everything's nice. Oh, good. Did everyone like lunch today? Very nice. Okay, oh, here's my son. Okay. No, we want the best. That's fine. Okay, everyone hugging. Oh, so nice. And I'm like, well, no, not so nice, but we'll get there later. And for now, I keep my end of the bargain. I don't make more trouble after that. So, let's keep track of what happens. Now, if both parties and sides are bound to agree to not mess with the status quo and push additional developments in any particular way so as to, allow the other side to become angered unrightfully, non-justly, that'd be a huge transgression of the sort of ceasefire / transiently established peace deal that we made there as a whole family. I never had any type of discussion or convening with me and both of my divorced parents ever before that, nor ever afterwards. It was the only time. I take something like that very seriously. So let's keep track of the dates, where we are, and let's keep track of what happened. So, reasonable person analysis. If you're reasonable parties, either in my shoes, you don't do anything much, or you're my mom's shoes, well, you don't provoke the situation anymore either. So what's the best policy? It would seem that both of you probably would, stay neutral, maybe minimize your interactions so as to avert the possibility of, allowing for even the risk of some not pleasant interactions. That's exactly right. I say that's right. And so that's exactly what I did. I completely took my focus away from the family. We weren't hanging out and spending time like that anymore. I'm looking at my own life and saying, well, I'm going to focus on my other things right now. While in the meantime, I go speak to my father and inform him about my whole position and my side. And he said, good, I'll hear from you. I said, you'll hear from my mom too. So you'll hear both sides. And then we'll continue this later with future episodes as we need. So I'm at home. I'm with Grandpa, doing my thing, contributing to spending the time that I was supposed to spend with my grandpa as normal. Felt bad for him, love him. He was my treasure, that guy. Now, about a week passes. All right, no drama. Wow, several days already and nothing new. Well, that's a good sign. That means it looks like things are really getting stable and no one's getting out of line. Good. Second week. No problems. Okay, good. About two and a half weeks out. That's a long time already. It's like 15, 20 days later. Yeah, Was there any drama? No. Okay, so when we entered into February around originally, 2020, you're saying most of the month of February has now elapsed. Yes. And not much has happened. No, well, that's a good thing, isn't it? I say, yeah. Interactions with mom were kept to a minimal. No additional drama. I just didn't acknowledge much and really took my energy away from that. Probably the first time in my life, it was like, I don't even believe in this shit anymore. It's like Santa Claus. It's like, once you see all the signs that he's not real, it's like, this is a fucking scam. I don't even believe in you people anymore. So I didn't even believe in my mom anymore. I'm like, you have none of my fucking favor. You're not even human to me. I don't even talk to you. We're living pretty much separate lives now. Well, 3 weeks later, here's what happens. Without any, okay, here we go. And eventually my mom came down one day, so that now this is about a couple weeks later, right? We start having discussions, And I have a feeling, and my feelings are always very, very precise. I just had a feeling to take the direction of the conversation that we were having one afternoon in a certain direction. Just cause like I feel it in my bones when something is worth bringing up, that it's for a reason. I'm there with my grandpa, I'm there with her, I'm talking with her, and I'm like, look, you know, as we agreed a couple weeks ago, as it was agreed by the table with my father, no one moves or does or changes anything. I've kept my end of the bargain. I haven't been provoking any issues because I respect my father, and I respect the peace, and I respect justice, which is what I expect to get at the end, once all aspects are informed properly. So I told my mom, and now I had to remind her, you know, you do the same thing. That means chill. We're living separate lives pretty much, and we're not interfering, and let it be that way. If that's better, that's what's best. And I said to her, I said, now you make sure on your end you hold to that, number one, and most particular. And I never had the feeling to ever bring this up before, but something in my, because I'm extremely sharp in a lot of ways and very intuitive. I could read the fucking it's like the matrix encoding itself will fucking hint to me what's going on before you see much clear physical manifestations. I'll get a read on things like you wouldn't believe. I'll realize things before you even realize that you're thinking about those things to begin with. I already knew you were about to think it. So I said, but one more thing. I almost felt foolish for bringing it up, but something told me, no, it's not foolish. No matter how crazy you think it might be, with this woman, anything's fucking possible. So even where normal people would never dream to do such a thing, for this one, you have to account for all unbelievable possibilities. So I said, okay, my gut is always right. So I said, and Mom, one more thing. You don't mess with anything, and particularly with my beloved grandfather here, who's my most loved and treasured member of this family, very special to me. Do not do anything that would infringe upon or negatively affect my grandfather in his position. You care about him, everything's working so far. Remember my father's words and the agreement that you and I and him all mutually entered into. Do not violate the agreement. Do not disrupt anything, and particularly where my grandfather would be made as a victim of any of that. Status quo means status quo. Do not violate it. She heard what I said? Well, that's saying too much. She just simply left my apartment. It was very strange. The next day, can't remember exactly where I was, what I was doing, or because there were a couple things that are about to happen simultaneously within the story, but this is where it gets weird. This is now heading into the latter part of February. All of a sudden, I believe is like within 24 to 48 hours of me specifically saying, I never had to mention anything about my grandfather's care, like, hey, like, by the way, never had to do it before. But now, I said this. Well, if you were to measure the level of provocativeness and provocation that someone's actions constitute, class, tell me, what's the level of provocation on a scale of 1 to 10, where my father enforces the agreement that nothing will be changed or violated, and then I say the same to my mother? Remember to uphold that same agreement and don't mess with any piece or corner of anything. For the sake of stability, keep stability. And mind you, you're the beneficiary of this stability. Haven't you been? Where I relied on everyone's word that I myself would give you the benefit of allowing you the peace, because I could have been a real son of a bitch on my end. But I didn't do that. So don't betray me to turn it against me, because then I'll make you regret it, potentially, depending on what's just for the particular circumstances in the particular case. Well, what's the level of provocativeness when I say don't mess with anything? 24 to 48 hours later, no coincidence, we've been caring for him for 5 years. 24 hours or so within me saying that, she's sitting on a plane next to my mother and next to her boyfriend. She takes a picture of them and him, sends it to me, and basically shows, hey, this is the last you've seen of your grandpa. I've unilaterally decided to just take him and essentially force him on a plane with us to take him to Poland now. He's gone. Your beloved grandpa? No, he's not here anymore. I just decided to take him. I didn't ask you. I did it. For years, has been an understanding in that home that will be discussed, that if it ever comes a day where the circumstances regarding grandpa's care needs to change or be upgraded or altered in any way, that this would be a family decision where the entire family and all the relations closest will sit, discuss, and come to an agreement and understanding mutually as to what will be the next steps. She just took him like he's property and took him as if I didn't exist. And not only at any time, but it was done exactly when I said, by the way, in reminder, don't do it. It's like opposite land. It's like if you've never stolen anything, and then I come to you and say, oh, by the way, and the only time I ever say this to you in your life, by the way, don't steal anything, okay? And then you go, oh yeah, and then in 24 hours you go and commit theft. That's like aggravation, provoking, you understand? Drażnienie to the fucking max. Who does that? Is that psychopathic or is that psychopathic? Not normal human behavior. This shows regard, dignity, and love, or this shows selfishness and a desire to freakishly control for only the sake of control and for my own ego, me. Your only God is me. You don't actually believe in God. You believe in you. You are God, you think. That's the fucking problem. You worship yourself and your idea of what's right. You don't understand anything else outside of yourself. So, my grandfather's gone. Him and half the things out of that apartment. Now, funny thing, I don't believe that only one person could, my mom would have been able to carry half of his things out of that apartment with him. I'll tell you what, it was also plainly understood, as from our earlier agreements, that as a result of all the bullshit that my mom's boyfriend got in with me, it was expressly forbidden that this man would ever be allowed to enter my apartment again. So I said, under no circumstance will that man be stepping foot here ever again. He's not allowed. And I'm saying this as a resident. You're not a resident. He will not be coming in here. There's no involvement, and it'll be a direct insult to me if he does. I guarantee you, it was him who came in to do all the things with her in direct violation of that standing agreement or ordinance that it would not be allowed. That's war. That's just open, direct shitting on you and not giving a shit about you. There's nothing closer to the heart of the meaning of the word war than this. These people want to sabotage it. They're asking for trouble. You understand? You see this now? So who has violated the agreements of the peace accord that we struck with my father at that table that day? Did I violate it? Or did my mom violate it? It looks very clear, doesn't it? So, I reach out to my mom very briefly, but of course, I'm not fighting so much anymore because my level of respect has gone so far down over those months and years that now it's like I'm talking to somebody who's basically not human because you're so fucking retarded and contemptuous, sick. I said, What the fucking hell is this that makes you think you could do this? This is an obvious violation of everything that could have been imagined that we had, the agreements we came to before. Hell makes you think you could do this? You know what she said? She said, oh, I don't know. It's because the police that we're calling from 3 weeks ago. I'm like, yeah, from like 3 weeks ago? Right, what about them? What the hell involvement do they have legally, or what rights do they have to do anything? She said, oh, I don't know, one of the police officers told me that I should take my grandfather out of the home. I said, yeah, well, he doesn't have the law to enforce that. That's not a law just because one cop, why are you even talking to them, number one? So there you go, you're in violation again because you're making continued contact with the police, number one. And number two, when a man in an officer's suit comes up with an idea, yeah, maybe you should take there's a grandfather here? Oh, maybe you should take out the grandfather too, just in case, because you never know. No. That's one man's impression idea of what his imagination came up with that he thinks is a good idea. And an objective actuality is not a good idea, but you don't get to evade responsibility by attributing the responsibility to some stranger who I've never met, who's never discussed any of this with us and me. Just, oh, you know, maybe you should take him out or consider it. No, you decided to do this. But of course, no responsibility taken. Just, oh, I don't know. I just do what they tell me. I didn't realize that I have the power to disagree with him. He just told me, so I feel like I have to do it. Like it's God telling me. Like it's as if it were the president himself coming to tell me what I have to do by orders. I'm like, there's something wrong with you Slavic minds. That's not how America works. He doesn't have the power to command you to move people. What the fuck are you talking about? Why am I cursed with you? I love that man, you fucking piece of shit bitch. You piece of shit. That's the last time I ever saw him in my fucking life before he fucking died in Poland because of you. Do go to hell, you idiot. For what you did. Or you end up admitting to me months later after he died, he said he died in strange circumstances. There were police investigations even over there. It was very suspicious how he died. Ah, you mean he died in a way he shouldn't have? Where he only died that way because you put him in the situation to die that way over there? Where he was being abused and neglected? She was like, yeah, he was being abused and neglected and he was in really bad shape. I said, but he was in good shape when he was here with me. So you basically killed my grandfather. And you don't have an answer for that. Because you don't seem to understand what it is to actually do good in this world. You still only worship your own demons who tell you how to operate in your life. When all the rest of us are trying to wake you up. Stop that. What are you doing? Why are you doing stuff like that? And then why do you do that? And then why you did that? And then the thing you did after that, why'd you do that? And then why'd you do that? And then why'd you do that? And then the next one, why'd you do that? None of it makes fucking sense, you dumb piece of shit. Anyone listening clearly understands, sees, and agrees. All of this is psycho. So, anyway, he ended up passing in September. But back to where this was happening, where you took him fresh in February 2020. I happened to have a trip myself to go to Europe. So by strange coincidence, where you spontaneously decided to go to Poland, I had a flight literally within a couple days to myself to end up in Europe as well. My first trip there as an adult. To go to Spain, basically. See somebody there for a few days. It was a nice time for the most part. The majority of it. And as I went to call that girl there and tell her, all right, here we go, I'm coming. And I started telling her a little bit, because this is very recent drama. And I wasn't telling her so much of it, she just wants to hear the nice things. And now this is getting so burdensome, I'm having to share some of the uglier stories. I'm like, listen, you know, my mom took my grandpa out of my home and basically kidnapped him to put him in Poland to get saddled over there somewhere. She's like, what? Your mom? You mean the woman who stole your passport a few months ago and you couldn't fly here before in September because she stole your passport documentation from your apartment without your permission? That woman? I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah, that woman's crazy from the story you told me. I think that's the most insane thing I ever heard. She's doing more insane things? Yeah. John, I'm really sorry. You are dealing with a lot. I'm really sorry to hear that. Wow. Wow. Well, come here in Spain. I'm in Barcelona. Let's have a good time for a few days. Oh, wonderful. Well, I had my right to be upset. But nevertheless, an agreement and a covenant made at the table in a family, whole family, with my father, I still honored it. I said, as bad as it is, I'll hold up my end of the bargain. It will only be a higher charge of guilt morally when this is shown to my father that she also took my grandpa in violation of that agreement. So, well, in the meantime, for now at least, thank God, I had a little bit of a vacation I got to enjoy for a few days. Half of a vacation, I'd say. Not a full one in some sense. Little bits of some separate stresses ended up accumulating there anyway. But regardless. Now, we're in late February, see? Here's what's interesting. I get a text from my mom. That text is still live on my other phone, which I don't have on me now. I could show a screenshot of it. Maybe I'll include it somewhere else. I don't have it right now, but I'll talk about it. Maybe a screenshot later, because pictures say 1,000 words. When you read it to see it for yourself, like in your eyes, the text there, fresh with the words, it really hits you more. Hits you harder. But I want you to just imagine it, okay? As if there wasn't enough indignation and offense coming from my mom, that's unmerited offense coming towards me. You would think, well, John, this would be really crazy if she still kept doing any more after that, even more to pile on, right? Remember the whole overarching theme of my life when it comes to observing how other people act in relation to me? It's called exactly what I shared earlier. That is, that everyone else seems to secretly worship a different God. It's called the God of audacity and the God of power. They only care about, well, when you make mistakes with audacity, correct it with more audacity. My mother texts me this. This was a couple days before I ended up back in New York. You understand, from an emotional perspective, I've been wrought with a whole 3 or 4 weeks already that had gone by. Obviously, and very understandably so. Well, to see my mom fakely agree to nice sense of peace, like, hey, everyone's nice, here's lunch, everything's fine now, and then 2 weeks later steal my grandpa away from my life and act like she has no responsibility for it. Just, I don't know, so what, just because I want to, just because I say it is, then it is. No, karma kill you. Wouldn't you deserve it? So get this, audience. She sends me a text. It comes through eventually. I get to see it on my phone there. Not very long before I ended up making my way back out of Spain and getting back into the U.S. A couple days or so prior, text makes it through, and it ends up saying, it actually was a surprisingly nice text. I was very surprised. Hello, I'm paraphrasing now, but I'll probably make it a point to definitely show the image of the text. So you could be in the position where you're in my shoes and you read this, so you decide if what you see end up happening from that, and then what happens next, whether that's fair and good and dignifying or indignation. I think you already know. It's not right, these things. She says, "Oh, John, listen. I just want to make a restoration of the peace in the family. Let's focus on family." These are very actually heartwarming words, because for a month it was like this weird, cold, subtle tension, but this like sadness that I had on my part, and also this, disengagement, because I am not making any more problems. See, it's even, you guys hear the brainwashing? You could see the remnants of it. It's as if, John, as if you're still the problem somehow, right? Yeah, we could see how Barbara's programming really still stuck in you, even slightly. It's like, I'm the problem. I can't be the problem. I never was a problem, you piece of shit. But you drive me crazy when you falsely frame it that way. So therefore you deserve it. God is good. I hate you people. Please end up in a fucking vehicle crash somewhere. Please. All the blood on the ground that will drop from your necks when your spines are running through the fucking windshields is God's joy. Thank God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Your bloody torso is ripping through the fucking crash. Yes, that's what you deserve for years of torturing me. May your planes crash. May fucking trees fall on you. Because you withheld being sorry to me for all the bullshit you did against me that I didn't deserve. That's why God is on my side. I'm sure the audience is thinking, well, but what the hell happened? Hold on, we're at the point where she wrote a nice text to you. Now, reasonable person analysis, if you're a woman who wrote a nice text to your son, number one is, well, you wouldn't dare to violate the spirit of that text by doing anything that's severely contrary to that text. So that's a huge showing, but if you dare to make it, then never dare to go against that thereafter there. See? Unless you're Barbara Winslow, capricious, no basis, no logic, only evil. See? Okay, guys, what did we think of this analysis? She sends that text while she knows I'm in Europe and she's elsewhere in Europe. Sends you the text, John, finally, this is weeks after all the bullshit there. I just want the peace and the restoration of this family. You know what? When I saw those words, I actually fucking naively, so stupid, right? I believed in it. I said, wow, that's really good. You know what? This could be the first breakthrough, finally, to have my mom admit this, like, assertively, even though she kidnapped my grandpa to Poland. Well, that must be her way of saying, I'm partially sorry, or I'm considering how I may be wrong, or I'm willing to, importantly, I'm willing to take the steps to acknowledge where I may be wrong and atone properly and fix it really. That's what that signifies in substance when you send a text like that. You see? Reasonably. So the recipient relies on that to allow the tension in his heart to ease and say, oh, good. Okay, well then in that case, what does that signify? It signifies probably when you get back to New York then, and I'll be back in New York as well, that will be the best time to talk then, right? Of course, right? Because that would also be pursuant to the original agreement we established earlier, almost a month ago now, where your father and you and I will continue to work on this as a family to mediate and resolve all these things. Yeah. When you send a text like that, that pretty much means I'm trying to show you in good faith that I really want to help I want to take responsibility for this, and I care that we meet the right goal together to come back together and restore. Okay. If you say so, I'm not going to contradict it. I'll believe it because it appears to be that on the face of it when you say that. Did I have reason to believe it? That it should be any different? That it's a trick of some kind? Well, actually, in reality, yeah, because everybody listening in the audience realizes she has violated your trust a million times. Why wouldn't it be any different? And yet naively, here I am thinking, Mom, my mom really is a good person now. Thank God now. She must have woken up. That's great. So I say, okay, well, look, I'm thinking, I just got this text now. I'm in the middle of Barcelona. I'm focusing on my own vacation right now. And it's almost done in about a day or so. I'll be taking some flights, transferring here and there. So I say, I'm back in New York in less than 72 hours. So therefore, that's not unreasonable for me to wait and then get back to her through text once I'm in the States in New York. And I'll text her right back in acknowledgement after I, sit on this and, of course, let's make sure it's not a trick or there's no weird surprises. But, assuming not, then, okay. She'll get a good message back from her son, and we'll take it from there. Responsibly. Good. Good. That's the most loved I felt that whole month. I was like, good. I thank her in my heart for making that effort to reach out finally in the right way. That's what's important. Okay? So I get back to New York. The whole time I was thinking, as soon as I get out of that plane, I'm going to text that mom of mine and we'll finally solve this problem and we'll be a good family again. Maybe this week finally we'll have it solved and we can have the whole year to just be the good family we were always supposed to be. Very good. That's what God would want, right? Yes, that's the godly direction. Okay. What would Satan want? Invert it. Make them blind, twist it, break it apart, do anything possible to keep it all ripped up, because that's when Satan wins. Oh, okay, we understand that. All right, I get off the plane in New York. It's about 2-ish days later after I got that text. I get on my phone, I say, here it is, New York. All right, I'm going to write the text now. And I write the text out. I say, in sum and substance, maybe I'll include the screenshot of this as well later. But I write back in sum and substance. I say, that's great news, Mom. All right, I'm very happy to hear that. That's great. We'll talk then soon. And I'm happy to hear that this is the first good step we've taken, and that warms my heart. It's all very nice. Okay, I send that to her. Promptly. Because right now the audience thinks, well, that's good. That means, naively, everything's fine now, right? No. You know what happens? Very promptly, my mom writes back with a quick text after that. Oh, no. Sorry. No, I actually, no, we just put order of protection against you. You cannot call us. You're going to go to jail if you violate. Now, also, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, yes, in addition to that, we know you're the sole resident of that apartment at this time, which you're the resident of, and I'm not the resident. But even though you reside there, but I don't, I'll still tell you. So I will now tell you that you should take your things, and I'm going to leave bags, and I'm telling you to put all your things in your bags so that you could move out where you live. What? Can anyone in the audience track the logic of what just happened? Here's the trick. If you were going to do something like this, in the sickness that you exist in, at least you do this, but you don't do this after sending a false friendship, false olive branch. 2 days ago, you wrote me, I just want to work on peace and the restoration of the family. Peace... For sending me a beautiful text that was a false text and a trick and ingenuous, you should go commit ritual suicide. Just from that alone, the punishment would be ritual suicide for you. Just from daring to imagine that it's just okay, like it's nothing. I could send you a nice text, and then a minute after that, I will turn around and be a snake again to bite you. Never trust me. Every deepest layer of hell is not deep enough for you. You have to dig a little further to put you in a fucking even hotter part of it, to burn you fucking more. I didn't do nothing wrong. number one. Number two, I kept my agreement, but multiple times she didn't keep hers. Number three, even if she's stupid enough to put an order of protection, what's the legal basis? I'll be very curious to examine those legal documents. But after that, number four, even if there is a basis, you weren't supposed to move the status quo. Oh, it's all your fault. Why would you do that? You broke the agreements. You see the insult? Now, I could have just gotten a machete somewhere, run up and sliced all your heads off from the beginning, but I didn't, because we all agreed that we would not do that. So you took advantage of the fact that I kindly decided not to murder all of you by then going to screw me even a little more. That's how you thank me. That only makes the pain you feel later that much worse later at the end. But don't worry, it won't come from me. You see my curses land. I don't have to be at the physical source of it to get you people. I'll just say it is pronounced and the matrix will move on you. The world and the realm and the space and God will just move on you. And it is so. Just watch. I don't have to do a thing or lift a finger. When by speaking, well, you'll see. Let it be. Let it be finally. That you wear my dignity down to this point. When I'm a grown man, God says, no one shall abuse any grown man of mine on this earth. You're not immune because you're a mom. It's not that everyone else has to show me respect, but because you're my mom, that somehow makes you immune, that I don't have to show my son respect. No. But we all know that that's how it works and doesn't work. You're the only one who doesn't get it yet, huh? I don't know where you got the idea to do any of the sick fucking nonsense things that you did, but you don't have agreement from any normal full witness. My father, when he was alive, disagreed with what you did. My witness here, Anthony, almost certainly shall be disagreeing with everything you've done because it's not correct. And on account of the fact that it's not correct, it will be judged against publicly. You're just going to keep learning till you learn all the way. And as I said, whatever God does independently of me on his own after the fact will be his. Maybe it's time for you to finally apologize and protect. You want to invoke God and Jesus protection? They say, yeah, first you go make up with the person, whoever has a grudge against you. You go atone with them and repent is the only way you get God's protection. So you do it. You're the one who's liable to perform, to do the things you're supposed to do here. How dare you send me a nice message like that, and then 2 days later, you purposely went and got an order of protection? But it gets even better than that. So let's inform my audience of the full things. I didn't get one order of protection put on my door or picked up from their office after the notice was put on my door. I got two. One from my mom, and the other from my mom's boyfriend. My mom's boyfriend? Well, let's track the story correctly. When's the last time I interacted with my mom's boyfriend? That would have been maybe a year plus before that, when I saw him in that elevator that time, when I said, hey, long time no see, and he said, yeah, lucky for you. Well, that's the last time I ever interacted with him. Did I skip anything? No. Have I ever said anything to him after that? No. Oh, so what the hell is this? You see, it's not about fucking fair and sense and morality and dignity and integrity. It's about we're programming you to take more abuse and lie down and love it. But I'll never love it till you're dead. The day you're dead, I'll sit on your graves and say, finally, Allah has fucking redeemed. Good. Know his fucking terror. You'll see it soon. I pray every day. You will. Every fucking piece of this story is fucking disgusting. And it reveals you, snake-like people, for what you really fucking are. And if you think that's the end of the story, you see, it just never ends with Psycholand. God help me and get me witnesses, and more of them too, please. And then help me get it publicized. You'll never escape your moral crimes against me for free. It'll never end. You must sit in shame. But where you don't have shame, you'll die simply, karmically. And God will decide how else too. I hope it all is delivered. Every single thing that you do deserve shall be yours. I'll never say it enough. Both cases were dismissed. Normally it takes 2 to 3 months, but because it's COVID, it was extended to 8. I didn't talk to my mom for 8 months. When Sarah found out that this was happening, her reaction was this. I don't even understand how that's possible. If my mom, for example, as a normal woman, wouldn't talk to her son or her child at all, maybe even me too, but definitely her male child for sure, for 8 months for any reason, whether it's his fault, her fault, anybody's fault, doesn't matter. Just the fact that there's lack of contact is like a lack of sunshine and water to the plant. It would be so psychologically devastating for her, John. She would commit ritualistic suicide just for the shame of existing in a situation where she was not able to speak to her son freely for that long of a period of time. And that's probably normal. I said, yeah, I get that much. My mom doesn't give a shit. It's a cold-hearted psycho person. That's not normal. And she was like, I can't believe that. I can't believe that. Once both the orders of protection were dismissed, because I challenged them, I gave them months, and then I said, nah, this has gone on too long, so I'm going to fucking put in the paperwork to get the judge to look at the shit and overturn it. And I did. And they found in my favor both times. Because they examined the merits, and they're like, when we do look very close, we actually agree that I don't know how this was put in properly. Think you could get falsely sued even for abusive process. Who gave them the idea to put in an order of protection? Is the audience following? Well, yeah, 2 days prior to that, you said you wanted peace and restoration with your family to your son. How is getting the order of protection consistent with the peace and restoration you claimed you wanted when you wrote the text to that son of yours, Barbara? That's opposite. It's insulting. Any human being on the receiving end of that should rightly hate you for their whole lives afterwards. It's as if you act without realizing that it matters what you do. That the pain you bring other people will be the same pain you get back. That you have shame. People have shame that they would live through that prevents anyone else from doing things like this to their loved families. Why is this human being so different from all the rest of them? Is it chromosomal damage, or what is it? Sadly, I never got justice from my father. He didn't even get to live to see us sit down together again. He died later that year, very close in time to when my grandpa died. Before the order of protection was ever lifted, he died. And do you know what the next insult is? My mom was told when the funeral was going to be. For her only son's father. She did not come. She said, I'll just send flowers. I don't have to go to my son's father's funeral to honor him in his death. I just send the flower, just like as an afterthought. I don't think I'll ever forgive her for that. That's unforgivable. That's disgusting beyond disgusting. Has obviously nothing to do with an order of protection, whether there's still one then or not. I would have spoken to her anyway. We could have sat on two opposite ends of the church and mourned my father's passing as it was separately. And anyway, the real crazy thing was that I didn't even end up going to that funeral. There were circumstances that were unbelievable, health-related, completely unexpected, and so insane that I'm not even going to get into it here. But everybody already knows. And also very sad and very sad that happened, and one of my personal regrets too. Although it was something I couldn't help, something sort of out of my control in a very weird way. I have to live with that for the rest of my life. So I knew it was not anything wrong or evil in my heart, and I wanted to be there. I got to be there for the wake at least. And I'm not happy with that either. But the whole family just falls apart. Now, months later, finally, the orders of protection are lifted. And now again, I have my mom come. She's in the apartment. I say, first of all, you're going to give up the keys because now I'm the primary tenant to this house. Give me the keys. She said, oh, no, I'll keep the keys. Anytime there's an emergency, I will just come here. You see, now that we got the whole story in context, now when you hear something like that, the whole audience will scream, no, John, don't do it. Snake, snake. Don't trust it. She'll just be another snake again. No. Wouldn't you guys have been right again? Huh. You see? And I'm supposed to honor the snake? God says you don't honor the snake. You only deserve honor when you uphold being honorable. When you do wrong, you waive your right to be honored. And you waive the obligation of others to honor you. That is even your own children too. And that is clear from all the Torah and Talmud and other sources, biblical and rabbinical sources. Now, when you're a psychopath, then you think you just do whatever you want. Now, I sit there and I demand an accounting. I say, so back to square one. Now that we're talking again. First of all, I'm not talking to your boyfriend. He's a piece of shit, and he's still accountable for all the things plus the extra bullshit. Why did I have an order of protection put on me from him? Just because we decided that we're gonna do it together. Yeah, but he's not legally involved. He had no merit. I could sue him. Oh, please don't do that. Okay, I won't. So because I could have but didn't, you owe me your consideration. Then you promise you won't do dumb shit again. She broke it again. Called the police recently. You see, it doesn't ever fucking stop. It doesn't ever end. So we're not going to make agreements with you anymore because you keep showing you don't honor your agreements. So why should we honor your word when you don't honor your word? So nothing you could ever say to us anymore will be held value. That's a very bad position for my mother to be in. Parents are supposed to act esteemed with high honor, but you've acted with low honor. So how dare you imagine you could be treated like you're my mother when you yourself ruin and burn down all the respect that could ever be given to you by the sick decisions you've made, unmotherly decisions. But the Bible told you how to be a mom. I showed the screenshots and the biblical portions. So you see now in hindsight, if you followed it that way, how you would have avoided every single wrong mistake on this entire long journey of several years and more. Now, the only thing I wanted at that point was the accountability and the atonement. Every time my mom would come down, I'd bring it back up because it wasn't there yet. So every time she'd come visit, it's hi, hello, small talk, and then back to the big elephant that's in the living room, which is, okay, so when you did these terrible things and I still haven't gotten an apology, don't you think I should have an apology? And what about the shit that he did, your boyfriend, which was even more crazy, idiotic? And finally, one time about February of the prior year, I spoke to my mom and I really just had a long conversation with her. Finally, she almost cried in my apartment. And it was like amazing. Finally, she realized, oh my God, you're right, you're right. She felt remorse for the first time in her life. It's like amazing. Wow, finally we broke through to her. She's like, wow, you're right. I retold her a shortened version. It's like I had to remind her everything that happened. It's like she forgets. You see? So I gave her a short version of all this. She got a shorter version of it, told to her like over the course of a day or two in my house and in my room. And she was like, oh my God, you're right. She was almost crying. She had real remorse. First time I ever saw anything like this from her. And I was like, thank you, God. Maybe there is hope after all. And she was like, you're right. You're right. With like new eyes. She was like, you're right. What he did was wrong. You're right. And it was wrong. I took Grandpa to Poland. She admitted that. She didn't admit it was fully wrong, but she admitted it wasn't fully right. All right, that's the beginning of the right direction. So, okay, good. You're right. I am sorry. I apologize. I said, okay, but repentance is not enough. Simply, I'm sorry is not enough. You have to atone, which means what? The level of trust that a son should have had for a mother that would have been a perfect mother, that's what you would have had you not made any of the mistakes. So all the mistakes you made, the practical effect in terms of the amount of trust that was burned, the capacity for the trust that was destroyed because of you, now it's as low as it is. Your atonement naturally involves all the extra grace and consideration and paying back and acting sorry and being good to me for as long as it would take, until the level of trust is caused through with your fidelity to adhere to being a good mom and showing that you've changed for a long time. It slowly comes back up and up and up to the point that it's full again, to the point that it would have been had you not made any of the mistakes that you made to begin with. That's when you have made full atonement. And that's when you've earned forgiveness for the first time in your life. That's when the forgiveness becomes merited and you will have received it. So I said, you didn't just perpetuate evil against me. You simultaneously allowed the evil to be perpetuated against me from your boyfriend. You're responsible for that too. She admitted it for the first time. She's like, I see your point. I see what you mean. She's like, I didn't even see it before. I didn't really get it. But now that you've told it to me this way, I never even thought of it that way before. I was like, yeah, kind of crazy, huh? Wow, looks like your son isn't so crazy anymore, is he? She's like, yeah, I really see it your way now, and I'm actually so shocked that this exists, this perspective, that it really hit her. She was like crying almost. But she was. I'm like, say, that's why you don't doubt me. When a man speaks, you bow and say, yes, sir, and accept the godly truth that stems from my mouth. That's it. It's spoken, that's because it is. It is correct. That's it. You bow. Funny. Between that and the next several months, this became a very good phase in the relationship between me and my mother. For the first time in many, many years, it seemed like the quality was improving a little bit. So one would think, well, certainly she wouldn't do anything to just trample on that, would she? That would be terrible and unnatural. And another betrayal. So it would be even worse than all the things she already did. Yeah, of course, you'd be right. Well, guess what? You see, the sickness never ends. Sickness never ends. It never ends until you rebuke them fully and then cut them off karmically, because they're disconnected from God and then disconnected from you as well. So they're isolated. So they're brought to karmic death. Ostracization always has been analogous to death in the Bible. So full death means full ostracization of you from my life and from your connection with God. For sure, that was cut long before I certify the cutting off from me here at this physical material plane. But let's get into the details of it finally. Now, this is earlier the prior year. That whole spring and summer. Wow, yeah, relatively good time with my mom, right? Better relationship, yeah. Well, very, very funny, very coincidental. I started hearing less footsteps upstairs all of a sudden. So I'm saying, what's going on? I'm noticing less sound up there. Somebody missing? She's like, oh yeah, yeah. Oh, my boyfriend, he just, and I was expecting a proper story with details. Instead, she was very like, she just said, oh, he's just gone. And she just shut up and didn't say anything more. That's weird. Someone does that, it's a sign that there's some kind of deeper trouble or drama or some other problem. Now, out of respect, if you give me that kind of reaction, I say, oh shit, like, so I'm thinking, oh my god, maybe they broke up or something, because she was just very like, she averted it in a way that would be unnatural for someone to avert if it was a normal circumstance. She wasn't like, oh yeah, he just took a trip, oh, he'll be back there, everything's fine. I was just like, oh, yeah, he just, I don't know, he's gone. I'm like, wow. I didn't even bother pushing the matter with her, but she would tell me if there's an issue. But from my end, since I'm left to guess necessarily, so I sit there and guess. I say, fuck, did they break up? Hell, I've never seen them be apart for like longer than a few days. It's like 2, 3, 4, 5 months he's totally gone. I'm like, and she says nothing about it. I'm like, I don't know what the hell, but that's good. And is it? Look at this, audience. What a coincidence. The 4 or 5 plus months that he's gone out of the life involvement happens to be exactly the same 4 or 5 months period of time where she's so much nicer and better quality of a mother to me. Well, wow, look at that. Now, if God shows you this and says, yes, see, when you take away the evil influence, then you uncover the normal motherly instinct, how a mom's supposed to be. But every time you bring the conflicting negative, then the interaction catalyst forces will cause the disgusting reaction that causes the manifest problems. Well, so if it's that obvious already, we would think, you know, obviously, and by the way, he owes an apology. Didn't we all agree? Is that right? Yeah. So earlier in that year, I was like, now, your atonement to me, if I'm going to accept you fully as a mother and forgive you and restore the relationship, a necessary part of that is that you fully atone for the problem that your bringing him into our lives has made. There's only 2 possible ways to atone that. Number 1, he voluntarily chooses to also find himself to be wrong and guilty and to come forward and admit that he was wrong, which you agree with that part, don't you? She's like, yeah, I can see how he was wrong. It's true. Okay, so that part's over. It's done. All right, so either that I agree and you agree that he's wrong. So it's been established by 2 people the same thing. He's wrong. So it's objectively established, at least with reference to our family and what our findings are. So either he voluntarily comes to the same conclusion, takes responsibility, comes to me and fully apologizes, not the bullshit apology where, sorry, you knocked over your grandpa. I didn't knock over my grandpa, you piece of shit, you reckless fucking retard. No respect having idiot. So she's like, look, you know what? I understand your need for proper accounting and atonement, and you deserve that as a grown man with dignity. So, well, I'm putting words in her mouth. Maybe she ain't really processing that way, actually. Maybe it's all another trick and an act. Psycho with these people. You never really know what you're getting, and anything you think you have, at any moment it could change. Welcome to the world of women. Sick. That is, I understand a lot more now, actually. Now I understand why all the stories from the Bible were like, yeah, we cursed women. Women get the curse for being as sick as they are. That's why they're always under the fucking curse of God for that reason. I'm like, it sounds messed up, but now that I see really how it is with some of you sickos, it's like, I really see why you are all cursed. You are. You really all are, because of how you are. You are all fundamentally broken. When you act like this, you are. You have to be the exception to be better. And what? The instructions are given in the Bible. How to be better than that. Ah, so you're supposed to be, aren't you? Follow it for the first time in your life. So you could be something, actually. Not just a sick instinct. It's ugly. So she said, all right, I'm going to really make the serious effort of my life to get these things correctly worked out. Because for the first time, she was like showing a sign like, oh, look, I value the mother-son relationship is extremely important. And first time she's showing that she has some kind of regard or value for it. Okay, let's see if she keeps it. God will test you. Will you really keep it, or will you play the role for a few months and then just let it all go to hell again and burn and crash? Okay, then you'll pay the price again. There's no escaping the price of the sin. You'll always pay the sin. It'll never end. So you have to be perfect, or you pay. It's that easy. Then you really have to learn what it is to fucking act correctly in this world and treat people correctly. So I said, all right, now I waited a day or two, and then after 3 days I said, okay, it's been 72 hours. Did you speak to him yet? A little bit, I don't know, so much. Okay, I'm going to give you another 72 hours, and then we're going to have a family talk and see what comes of it, all right? Okay. Another 3 days goes by. All right, I gave you a second 72 hours. That's it. Did you secure something meaningful here? And by the way, I was clear. I was like, look, either he apologized to me, or if he's unwilling, then your moral obligation, Barbara, at that point becomes you have to cut him off. Why do you think it'd be any different than that? We cannot coexist. If a wrongdoer sits in our midst and we pretend it's fine, is not fine, but to try to pass it off as fine is the insult to me, where there I will cut you off in addition to him, so you can both be on a separate island yourselves burning in hell. Either you side with me against the wrongdoer, or you are in cahoots with the wrongdoer, so you're both guilty. You can only pick one of those two. The fact that he was wrong never changed. And the fact that you were wrong from before also never changed. And playing the spin game will never work, because men have a stronger mind. You cannot falsely dream to convince us of something that's not true. But your attempts to try to do so are fucking pathetic. It will never work. It's too strong of a power mind. We're closer to God than you in that way. You cannot convince God to think like you. You're stupid. You're stupid. So, a week goes by, I didn't get nothing. So now I'm like, well, I'm not so happy. So whatever regard I gave you, starting to retract and correct a little bit back down, because you're not giving what you promised. So now you're liable for the lack of correct action that's coming from his end. If you don't rebuke that and cut off from that, you're liable now to me for that. So I'll cut you off. But funny enough, now this comes to the part of the story where, again, all of a sudden, not very long after that, that's when he sort of just disappeared without an explanation. And he's gone for 5 months. And she didn't want to really touch the subject matter. So I'm only left reasonably to make inferences. So the leading explanation that I could form is, well, wow. It really seems like, oh my God, is this correct? For the first time in my life, she actually took the step and fucking cut the asshole out? Yeah, he's gone. He's in Poland and he's there months and months and months. I'm like, and now it's like a new life here. My mom actually comes down. She treats me like I'm a human being that whole summer. Wow, my dignity was starting to go up. For the first time, blessings were coming into our lives. Good family gets blessings from God. God blesses it. She's treating the son correctly. And how do you think I treat my mom? Because giving her a hard time? No. I was giving her the best treatment I've given her in years. Why? Because it was what was naturally being invited by her to become evoked from me. Very good. But you'd think, well, if you got it that good, then you'd be only that much more stupid for dreaming to wreck down such a thing once you've actually worked that up into existence for yourselves. Are you people stupid? Anthony, my witness, don't you think such a thing would be foolish? Yeah. So we finally come around August, September. Now I've been having some other issues, dental issues and other issues, energy issues, health issues, serious stuff. I'm beginning to confide a little bit more with my mom. For the first time, I see her more than just this infuriating and extremely immoral and sick psychopathic woman, I'm saying, wow, maybe there's a slight chance it really could be a true restoration of the relationship. She didn't merit full forgiveness yet, not even after those few months, but she worked a part of the way there through long, consistent work. Well, I said to her, I started getting very worn down. And like I said, when I went to Spain, that was only a few days, not a real vacation. But besides that, I said, I haven't really had a proper vacation in years. And the Spain trip didn't work out properly, both because of some issue from over there eventually, and then when I came back, I was traumatized with a undeserved order of protection. I've never been at peace this whole time. So I said to my mom, I'm like, look, listen, I haven't had a vacation in several years since the coma and the nerve resetting and the mind and all this. I'm just really tired. We got to do something. We need to figure something out. Maybe we could pay for a trip that I could take for a couple days somewhere, a few days. I need a break from this crazy shit. New York and all this nuts stuff. I got to get a breather because I haven't had one proper breather in a long time. Mom, you're going here and there, Poland, vacation here, vacation there, Florida there, Florida. Multiple times a year you get to relax. I haven't had that luxury at all. I've been a slave here for years practically. I'm tired of it. So I told her this as like a message, like, work something out for this family. Because I'm tired of this. I deserve one, I think, huh? Also a little test. If she properly obliges, it's like good. Even more beneficial good karma to work. You see, this is even more seriously I will take this person and treat them good. Instead, all of a sudden she says, you know what, I want to go have a dental consultation, or I'm going to go get a dental procedure, or I think I will, but I'm not sure. I say, you could get that done here. She says, no, I'm going to go to Poland. I have to go to Poland now. Go to Poland, bye, Poland. I'm going. I'm thinking, all right, I'm not going to push the issue, but I think I mentioned I also want to go on a vacation, right, or just take a break. She doesn't invite me. She just leaves. I'm around alone. I'm like, that's a little weird. I'm not going to get pissed, but I'm taking note and observing that. And okay, well, we'll see what comes of it afterwards. Gone for 2-3 weeks. I'm like, 2-3 weeks for a dental appointment? That doesn't make sense. She comes back afterwards. First obvious thing is, oh great, no procedures were done. I just had a consultation. I'm like, you went for a 3-week trip to Poland to do a 20-minute consultation and a test? What? Something's not adding up here. Uh-oh. When people are disingenuous and start making funny, slippy, illusion, misrepresentation games, that's the first beginnings of the roots of new evil. Never be funny. Always be pure and straight, you fucking idiots, huh? The fuck? Well, surely enough, it was revealed. As soon as fucking she came back, literally the day after she comes to stand in my apartment talking to me, she's there in front of me talking, and as she's talking to me, I hear fucking footsteps upstairs from her apartment that's in the same building upstairs. And I look up, and there it is, and I'm like, what the fuck? That guy? I didn't get no updates that like, hey, listen, let me just let you know. So here's what's going on with him. So, you know, he's going to come back. And then here's why, or here's what's... I got no backstory. So there's no... All right, so this is very bad then. That's not the correct way to go about it. Just all of a sudden, magically, no explanation given to you, John. So is this dignity or lack of dignity? Right, and it's not so bad yet, but it's what it leads into that is necessarily bad, which is why the preventative measure is the thing that's owed. So that's why that's what I'm saying is right. If you did the thing properly in the beginning, then it would have been all done by understandings that are kept as mutual understandings. Anytime when anybody's kept on the same page and everybody's on the same page, that's when you preserve success. Anytime you get these different slips into parallel non-matching worlds is the beginning of the rifts that call for the troubles, and the one who perpetuates that and causes it is the one who's responsible. Okay, it's not my I didn't do anything wrong here anywhere here in this situation, as I've said. So I hear the footsteps upstairs. And I'm stunned. I'm like shocked. As soon as I hear it, I'm like, what? This idiot. Now, here, see, we wrap around. This idiot. I remember that guy. That's the guy who owed me the apology that I never got from him. And where you would have given me that apology if he didn't give one, but you would have atoned for it or otherwise cut him off. If he was cut off, what the hell is he doing back here? And if he's back here, well, then he's still an idiot. So therefore, because I'm still missing an apology and the atonement correctly. Well, that's obvious to us. You know what the response to me was? He's not an idiot. The sickness never ends. Only morality, or you are bad karma, hell, hell, hell for you. God runs that way, his universe, for a reason. And now, finally, I'd say this is pretty much one of the last remaining significant portions of the whole story. It's been quite a long journey. Through many years of crazy psychotic abuse, but we see who the originator of the abuse and perpetrator of the abuse was, and who the victim really was, and all the fucking crazy shit I had to put up with. So, here we are. And when I am sitting in my home, in my apartment, with my mom as a guest, sitting there with me, where I was owed an apology from these people, the proper atonement, and then on account of her bringing this guy back and just parading him around now, figuratively speaking, and acting as if nothing's wrong, this has the substantive effect of basically spitting on the entire course of everything that has come that was any kind of nicey kind of piece or whatever. It's a substantive revocation of the entire piece we had. Because when I say and fairly call him an idiot and she defends him, you have no right to defend such a person in that circumstance. Not after all that shit that's happened and he hasn't atoned morally or repented properly. That is an idiot. So what the hell is he doing back here? Who let him come back here? What the hell is this shit? You should be fucking, people are just, it's a line and a sea of fucking people bowing and heads bowing and remorse everywhere. Not this inversion shit. But it's a fucking insult to me to have any of this shit like this. This is why you go to Poland? Not to fucking do anything with a dentist? To fucking bring this fucking guy back? Nauseating. Although, if you'd brought him back, and also it was established that, well, we've brought him back here, but I'm here to petition for a remediation and amending of this whole family. That would have been like, oh, that's great. I'm happy for, okay, we'll work on that. That's not what you fucking said. You didn't say, oh, he's back here, and you know what, John, we're gonna make it right. No, you just said, no, he's not an idiot, huh? Mind blown. So that rips every good benefit of good faith thing that has been established for 6 months. You just waved it with, he's not an idiot. 4 words, destroyed a year of fucking good things. Is that easy, stupid? So that's why you have to take care, like every word you say is your precious baby and his fucking eggshells. You be responsible. You don't just get to recklessly bump around like a drunk person. For someone who doesn't drink, she sure acts like a drunkie. The decisions she makes are the same kinds of drunk people would make, only when they're drunk. So something's fucking wrong here. So I end up becoming very, very fucking not happy and upset in my apartment as a result of this. I didn't fucking attack her, you understand? But we're arguing. Yo, what is this shit? This is my fucking dignity. You people owe me an apology for the shit that you've done. What the hell is this? This is like an insult to me. It's a joke. If you come here and you bring him around, at least, you know, you're supposed to represent something that you're going to take a proper responsibility still with all that. That should be the number one assurance that's made to one in my position before any other fucking thing is said to me. That you're going to sit here and say, he's not an idiot. You're going to fucking defend him on the whole. He's not defensible on the whole, and because the things he has done and you have both mutually done together as fucking the getaway fucking sicko crew is not defensible. And you people have not merited forgiveness yet. You've only half sort of been stable, but I don't know what happened to him, but now I see that he just took a trip and came back casually. You didn't fucking kick him out. I'm trying to add this up together. I'm like, the whole fucking basis and the understanding of this shit has been fucking off. So who's responsible for the lack of clarity and communication? She is. I'm very upset now. So we're arguing, talking in the kitchen. I get very upset. Now, I recall this very clearly. So this is very key to know. We're in the kitchen. We're having a discussion. And then all of a sudden, we begin to argue. And I put my arm and I grab her arm. Keep this in mind. Now, the arm grab wasn't the lead into anything else, nor was it reasonably indicative of a continued, you know, like what you would term to be like a, to become apprehensive of genuine physical injury. But it's the kind of arm grab that's consistent with what you would call a casual argument. So we're arguing, all right, from the arm grab, we're transitioning into, you know, more talking, verbal gesturing, arm waving, arm moving, pointing at you, and like this, and talking, and this and that, and I'm very upset. And we continue going back and forth, discussing, talking, arguing. But the insult to me, ladies and gentlemen, is what? Is that I'm in my house saying the correct merits, but that I'm even being contradicted in any manner to begin with at all. If with 4 words you waive an entire 6 months of good faith relations with your son in a healthy way, you dismantle it as if to say, oh, you think that is any of this has been about your dignity? No. Oh, he just happened to not be around. Now he's around, now I'll shit on you again. That's the same as if to say that. So that's like mind fucking blowing. That's fucking stroke inducing, you fucking morons. How dare you? Fucking hell. The hell did he do? Give you more Kool-Aid to drink? Why the fuck is it working? What the fuck? Why? Idiots. I told you, if someone can apologize, I'm good enough that I'd consider it. But you don't even ensure that he'll be apologizing. Oh, but funny, but 9 months prior you said, yes, you're right, John, and it has to be that way. It has to be an apology, it has to be some responsibility taken. And 9 months later, I see you completely lied. And now I'm calling you out on it firmly. You lie. So now you owe me the additional 9 months worth of cumulative insult that all of this has been, for hanging me for 9 months straight without getting what I deserve. And when I finally call in the debt, call in the loan, so to speak, after I see fucking weird signs, you have nothing for me. So you're liable for the whole damn thing. But when you're liable, you don't have clean hands. So you don't get to make a fake counterclaim against me of any kind. But when you're evil, what's your instinct that you run to? Frame him to make him look bad. Remember, guys, there will always be the fake instinct. So at the end of that argument and discussion, she walked out of my house. Good. And then what from there? Let's see. And you know what? Before we analyze the particular text conversations that go After that took place after that, as I described what happened, and this is the final phase that sets up what ended up happening on Sunday, October 9th, where she ended up calling the police to have me fucking held against my will for that thing. You understand? But I'll say this. So eventually I was discussing one day some things with I guess a former friend. We're not friends anymore. See, this woman Isabella, also a Polish girl. You know, sometimes she was very sympathetic to my position and was in pretty strong support of me. Now, we were talking, but also she has her own kind of issues, in my opinion, and we just didn't see eye to eye on a couple other things. So, funny enough, one day we're out in public, and we started having an argument between me and her, right? But this is one as friends, you know, not mother, son, but like friend to friend. But we're kind of arguing, you know. So I'm saying, look, like, you know, bada bada, this and that. I'm not going to go over the details. I'll keep that private for now, but actually I might make a separate video one day about that, because in a grand story, I have another thing about her and rebuking her, and she wasn't good to me. So all my claims are everywhere against people. My finding is that people aren't good in this world, and there's something wrong with all of you. I don't know why. It doesn't have to be that way. I don't think it should be. I just keep getting surprised when I keep finding this about all you people. But I give all you guys hope and trust at first, and then you keep screwing me, and then I say, why keep doing that again? What is this, huh? Fucking hell is wrong with you misprogrammed fucking dumbasses? Why do you have the evil inclination? Why do you have the evil instinct? Huh? It's like you flip a coin every day to figure out how you're going to randomly act. It's not random. Love God and be perfect, idiots, or suffer. What the hell is this, huh? Shit. So I'm there with Isabella, and we're arguing now. And she's saying dumb things, and as I'll summarily say, in my opinion, I believe it was dumb. But I'm like half patient with her, but half not as patient, because they're starting to wear on me. But we're arguing and discussing. I'm like, no, you get, it's this problem, that problem, that. She's like, yeah, but and she's kind of like a female version of me a little bit in some ways, but not quite completely. Now we're arguing, and then all of a sudden, through the course of argument, almost in like a natural or quasi-natural manner or form, as is consistent with the pace of the argument as it's transitioning between the two people that it's taking place between me and her, she moves up her arm and grabs my arm. Okay? Now, she grabs my arm and holds the arm in the way that, she's got a good grip too. She's like, listen, słuchaj, like in Polish even too, half Polish, half English. And she grabs here and and I kind of pause for a minute. Now, in actuality, I wouldn't really have taken offense at the fact that she grabbed my arm. Why not? Because that arm grab wasn't an arm grab consistent with she's going to be assaulting me now. You see that? We were out in public somewhere in some place in the city, we're just talking. So that arm grab isn't consistent with violence or assault. It's consistent with the tempo of the conversation as it was going, but she was the first one to initiate like a arm grab contact physicality element with me. I wouldn't have done that to her, because I'm not that familiar with her. With my family, I'm familiar. So family are always fucking putting hands on each other in a lot of ways in that way. With her, she does to me. So she's grabbed my arm. Słuchaj, listen. Now, as I said, normally I wouldn't have done anything or considered anything about it. I wouldn't have thought about it. I would have just been like, listen. I would have grabbed her arm like back half as good as she did me, and complete the circle, and then we change positions and postures and do some other gesturing here and there, and the argument would flow on and flow on. Europeans tend to gesture a lot more with their arms, like Italians, than Americans do, maybe. Okay, but anyway, you see, this discussion between me and her was taking place not terribly long after, maybe this was a few weeks roughly after the event that I just told you guys about now. Or my mom came back the day after from Poland, where she's in my house, and we're talking about that, and I said I grabbed my arm's mom transiently in the discussion. It made me stop and think, because the way that Isabella grabbed my arm, as not unreasonable as it was for the context, it was exactly the same the way I grabbed my mom's. And when I'd visit other Polish families, like Crazy Michael from below, and I'd go down there, and every other time I'd be there when the family was there, they're all like a bunch of piggy-headed Polacks too, and when they're yelling at each other, and it's always drama, they're more rambunctious than our family even ever was. You know, half of them would be always physically grabbing each other in big enactments of fucking and grabbing. So I'm like, yeah, I see. I'm learning. People grab each other. Okay, that's normal. Same thing. When Isabella grabbed my arm, it's funny because I stopped and I thought, like, okay, like, I appreciate this moment. This is like God signifying to me, like, just so you know, John, like, don't lose context here. Look that this is normal. You know your friend here is grabbing your arm, that it's in the normal course of discussion, and that obviously you don't feel a recourse that you're going to start wronging her for having grabbed your arm at this moment. And I affirm, I say, yes, I agree. And it's as if God says back to me, it's like, yes. So good that you hold the context, lest you ever forget. For you have done nothing more than this with your own mom when you were arguing with her in the kitchen. Yet for this is the basis of her false slander and attacks against you. Such a thing you would never dare to do opposing when you're on the receiving end to someone such as in Isabella's position. I say, of course not. This is a normal day. I wouldn't even think about the arm grab. I never would have even noticed it, except that exactly the same. It was like a perfect replication. And I kind of stopped with Isabella, and I was like, you know, it's funny you're grabbing my arm like that right now. And she's like, oh, why? What about this? And I didn't fully answer her to tell her all of it fully, but in my head I'm like, yeah, I'm a super bad criminal for having done the same exact thing somewhere before. You see the funniness? The slant and the spin will never end. So let it be known. Okay, so I have the conversation from that period of time. This was the end of September. These are the several days that would lead into the October 9th huge problem. So now, as I referenced, now when I was in the situation with Isabella, she's grabbing my arm, you know, I kind of implicated, like, you know, you grab my arm. I don't have a problem with it. This is not a objectionable, hugely, it's very mildly, you know, kind of, you know, the most you could make of it is that it's very mildly, like, you know, it's just a phase of the argument. I'm not here to criticize your actions. I'm not going to wrong you for making this gesture to grab my arm in this way. Same exact way I grabbed my mother's arm. But she doesn't merit immunity from having her arm grabbed like that once you become as guilty to me as you have purposely allowed yourself to be. You waive that. It's not a slight to your dignity to grab your arm. It might have been more of a indignation to me, because in the circumstance to me and Isabella, I wasn't wrong, but I was right, and she was failing to see it. But in her own mind, where she had her side and we were arguing back and forth, she felt it was cool to then move to grab my arm. Well, I'm not an idiot or an asshole like a lot of these hyper drama boys, like, oh, what are you grabbing my arm for? Oh, you're violent. I would never fucking do that. Grow a brain, you retards. But likewise, you have to be consistent with your application. So obviously, you grab one's arm like that, it's not a big deal. Don't make it a big deal when you have the same thing done in return to you. So what did she say? Essentially, it was like, you know, it's like, hey, what if I made a big deal about you grabbing my arm right now? If she would have been like, I don't remember if she actually said this or was like implicated, but it's like, And it was like, why would you make a big deal about me grabbing your... Oh, no, I remember having a discussion about this with her afterwards. Yeah. She was like, yeah, I remember I grabbed your arm there. It's like, so what? I'm like, I don't have a problem with it. I just think it's funny. Some people do. And she's like, that's nothing. Like, what the hell? Like, that's just, we're talking. I'm like, I know. I agree with you. That is fine. The flow of life. Relax. I know. She's like, yeah, that's right. I'll grab your arm again. Look, and like, yep, okay. Be cool. You're not fucking some kind of, I'm like God, don't touch my arm, you're evil. No, stupids. Get a reality check. Now you're living. The hell. So, here we go. Very unusual that my mom would not come around. Almost every day would be, some kind of touching base, right? Well, I'm telling you, now, don't call him an idiot. He's not an idiot. And then it all got weird after that because she refused to continue taking the responsibility that she represented originally from earlier in the year, that she would now finally, yes, she would correctly take the responsibility. Yes, that's good. You're supposed to. See? So the screw is trying to flip away from it. The hell. Now, let's review carefully the context here, because I'm very upset and it's not right. Still looking for, I don't know what the hell. All right, September 29th. The next day in the early morning, 5 a.m. I didn't hear from you yesterday. Are you okay? Yeah, you know why I didn't hear from you yesterday? Because I'm mad at you because you're not honoring me properly. So why should I acknowledge you? Bow, then you'll be back into God programming. Get it? Fucking idiots. But I say to not let her worry. Exactly. Yeah, I'm home number, and then I'm mad at you. You left after that thing, and you did not make a showing for 2 days now to come and finalize the conversation in a way that stabilizes the situation. That is the predicate of my displeasure. So you see how many months later I can recall from like my gut and mind the story, and then you look at the words, and exactly when you have live time, the evidence of what was said live, recorded, is matching exactly what I said was happening. Do you see how fucking perfect it is? There's no hope for you people when you try to move against me. You don't have a hope. If I already have established the way, it's too late for you. The moment you see my face is already too late for you. You've already lost. You just haven't figured it out yet. Next. So I'm explaining to her, you're supposed to come to me and make the showing that you want to have the proper accord and the peace, which should naturally follow. Okay? I should not have to elaborate these things. You should be coming here, the one coming here, and making the apology, showing that you have the understanding of and the sympathy for someone in my position who's been denied the things that she's promised you for months and years. He's wrong, and eventually, yeah, we're both wrong, I'm wrong, oh my God, I see it now. Do you? Wah, wah. Nope, you forgot again. Bad, so now you're wrong again. See? It'll never end until you fully pay. So, until you show that you have understanding and sympathy as a woman should, grace and the yin elements, and to then promise and show the consistent effort that you're believably actually solving and fixing those things that are bad, and refraining from doing or supporting what is bad or offensive. Doing or supporting what is bad or offensive. What is my mother's reply? You'll track later, you'll see this is completely disingenuous. So remember, karmically and the angels of heaven and all that, yeah. When you begin with disingenuity, you will end under a curse. Don't do it. Don't do it from the beginning. But here starts the ingenuity. Well, we have a virus situation here. This is like Aunt Wendy bullshit. The same bullshit. You're too scared to say real, so you're going to make a fake, so you're living under a curse permanently. We have a virus situation here. I don't want to give it to you. Curse you for fucking psycho stuff. And even if it's true, it shouldn't be a barrier. Also, I will be using a counselor starting Friday to help manage this difficult situation on both ends. That was September. It is now almost June of the following year. Have there been any advancements with this supposed counselor route? The answer is no. So number one, can you see the disingenuity now in hindsight after you see that there's not really any answers or even a proper movement? It would have been done already if it was done properly or not. These are all joke people. This is all a big fucking clown world. It's a circus. What fucking counselor? You people don't live life seriously. You just say things and then choke on your own bullshit. I have to fucking be brought through this indignation to be on the receiving end of horse shit. That please be patient for one more week. She even writes in Polish. They sound like they're Polish. For one more week. Also, call the welfare lady and go there. Because I'm fucking in poverty because of my own fucking bullshit. Nervous system issues and all that other shit that I should have to deal with. Half the times, I can't even record this properly without having issues. I've been lucky recently, though. It's not that bad, but sometimes it is. One recent girl that I'm talking to, very beautiful girl, very lovely, young and beautiful. And, yeah, she's getting to know me. And then now recently, she's seen me have nerve issues or heard me on the phone. And she's like, whoa, what the hell? And I'm like, And then later, it's like, yeah, it just gets like that sometimes. She's like, oh, my God, that's my life. No one's helping me. Fucking went over this already. I have to sit in my house in indignation and be fucking left alone and without people fucking around me to fucking be at my aid. And this is how you treat the fucking human being? That's dignity for that person? She was helping me wash some dishes, which she offered freely and I accepted. I didn't finish washing dishes, so please finish it or just remove the water from the bucket. I left that bucket on purpose. It's still standing in the same place several months later. I told myself if the water evaporates from it and she doesn't fix it, God confirms that it's cursed. Almost all the water is evaporated now finally, so the curse will be applied soon. I said, be patient with what? You're using one excuse to cover another excuse. And then I remind her, God fries people who don't act loving to their own children. So, I call her out on her bullshit. You're planning your virus to last for a week? That's funny. I'm so smart. Yeah, that's right. You're pre-planning to not give your son correct treatment for a week? Where'd you come up with that? Why a week? I've never heard that. Mind you, up until that point in time, every day she'd make regular contact, which was normal. If you're sorry to me and you're trying to show me proper treatment, you're not merited to then decide to fucking be away. For if you do, be away, but you're just more wrong for it. So you just sit under higher karmic burdens and sin. Keep cursing yourselves. You're choosing it every time. So I'm explaining. It means to give full motherly grace and consideration in regard to the grown children by correct treatment. If your instinct is to suspend the free outpouring of dignifying treatment towards a grown son, then when you do not know what to do, even though I'm telling you, that is what's sick, is what's evil, and what's an insult. I continue. Moreover, you don't ask me how I feel about any of this, you just tell me what the fuck you're gonna do. A counselor likely may do more good than harm on the average and is worth trying generally. Well, I don't even feel that way anymore. Actually, they tend to do more harm than good. I have come to realize that more. That in itself is not terrible. I'm too nice here and too naive. I know the truth better now. Waiting for a counselor does not excuse you from treating and relating to your children correctly and otherwise making correct choices in life. Your counselor will not tell you anything in regards to what to do or how to be more than what I've already told you. All right, and the last 6 compilation videos plus these recordings do much more of a comprehensive job at correctly establishing what the hell it is to do than anything that any counselor had ever told this woman. Bow. Moreover, you should seek concomitant counseling, not just with a secular psychologist on the one hand, but with a priest, father, or rabbi type who's competent in all these things to get the religious aspect. It's true, you got to have both joint worlds married together. I've interacted with people who are licensed therapists and pastors. They're like 10 times multiplier over what one who's only one of those alone would be. It's really fascinating and great. Next, so I don't excuse you for 1 week. If you have a virus, you do the normal thing. Wear a mask and treat your son like he's your son. Exactly right. In this context, it's wrong for her to suddenly what? I call her out on her bullshit. She gets fake offended and tries to put the spin, walks out of my house and then acts like there's a problem now, pre-planned for a week to be a problem. You're not allowed to deprive me of the shit you owe me. So here I am, correctly establishing my rights. I don't excuse you for a week. What the hell? You're supposed to be atoning and being sorry to me this whole time for the bullshit of abuse for 20 years. Stop changing the context and imagining you're dreaming something else. Waiting for what else? For 1 week while nothing is happening? It's an insult to me, it is. So therefore it's not allowed if it's insulting to me. Also, this makes no sense. If you're avoidant of your own son and avoiding giving him the proper treatment, God stomps on your head, metaphorically speaking. Oh, it's true, isn't it? So I reprimand her again. As the eldest male of my family, is not only my right but my duty to be the God transmitter, and all others, including the older women, are to bow and revere and obey it. The eldest man in the family is the conduit of God. No one else. Be quiet. But that's established everywhere in the Holy Scriptures. Do what is right, or you will be karmically and spiritually liable to God, says the designated God messenger of your family. That's what gives my power, force, and effect. That's why when I say fires will start, 6 days later, they start upstairs. That's what I say when someone smashes somebody's face, in 12 hours their face gets smashed. Because I'm already designated to have that power by God, and I told you that, and then you're watching it happen. So that should blow your minds already. But if you see it's true by the effect, and you still don't bow then you're really insulting God. Because you know you're doing it against what's right, and you're being wrong. So, I do not excuse you from the natural course of conduct and the natural disposition that you owe to your family and children as a yin mother woman. If you burden me with additional conduct which is reasonably insulting or indignifying to me in any way, I will hold you morally and karmically liable for this. The hint here is, you've been several months half smart enough to avoid getting yourself into such problems. So if you dare to allow it again, it's not just a little bad, it's the equivalent bad of overturning all that much. Is that much more of the insult? You see? Now, she responds, I told you about the virus situation, which is true. Marek is already very sick. Good, the curses are starting already. You see? It'll never end. And I just started to sneeze a lot with the headaches. Plagues will come, and they'll keep making your lives terrible. Just try to protect you so you don't get the virus. I could give you food. See, it's always about context refraining. I'm going to give you food. I'm going to give you food. So if I dominate you by controlling your resources because you're sick, of course, which you can't help. But if I do that, then it's like I have the right to abuse you. New magical right. You know, other mothers who didn't abuse their children into positions where they become sick because of the shit they went through, they don't abuse them. But when you abuse me so that I become sick, so that you have to give resources, so then you claim you have new rights to abuse me, to stamp the right to abuse me, that's actually not God. That's you being sick and being like the devil. See that? So don't change it, like, let's try to reframe it, like, oh, I'm going to give you food, I'm going to give you food. No, be quiet about food. I'd rather starve, but be given morality and dignity, than to be given food from someone who fucking has contempt for me. I will not accept food from you. Go to hell. Contact needs to be minimized, right? Like I just said above, I said, you don't ask me, you just tell me. That was a prompt and a hint for you to learn to update the files in your head. When I talk to Google's, or not Google, but when I talk to ChatGPT AI, when I give it a correction, because I'm smarter than the AI, so it keeps learning from me and not the other way around. It learns from me, but I don't have to repeat myself so many times. That's what learning looks like. Why is learning here slow? Now, if I just said you should be asking and not telling, it means that it should look like, insta correction, update the file, and then live off of that forever. Never again should I have to bring it up. That's called correct living. It should be, oh, you know, what do you think? Would it be all right if we minimize contact for a week? If you asked me, then I'd say, You know what, bitch, have it your way. Fine. Fucking see you in a week. But because you're arrogant enough to just declare it as if you're fucking God is why I spit on you pieces of shit. Because you're not collaborating with me. You're just trying to force with a fake authority that you don't have to support indignifying behavior. Screw you, people. Next. I was able to find copies of some marriage certificate that I needed for some things that I'm applying for. Good. Some paperwork we needed. Got the Polish translation. Good. Okay. Yeah. Let me, all right, skip ahead slightly. Again, it's, do you want me to leave your food by the door like you're a dog? What's the natural answer, guys? Class, we've done this before. Very easy. The answer is, I'm not a dog, so I have to correct you again. The answer is always, you bring it to me like I'm a human being, which is normally when you see me. So I'm trying to cut the dog treatment, but you don't get that. Just keep thinking I'm fucking property or a dog. Now, a couple days later, call me when you wake up. Nothing. Whole day goes by. All right, that's weird. We were just texting a couple moments ago, and there's there's some interactions here. Okay, all that. Now, here we go. What did I say? You gave me a promise that you would come back today to make things right and to properly discuss things instead of diverting and avoiding as you seem to do this morning, which is upsetting. Now I've not heard anything at all. Oh my God, I'm actually correctly calling her out on something, huh? You're morally wrong. You owe to pay nothing else. Called bow and smash your head against a rock and tell how sorry you are that all the blood drips. This is your payment. Nothing else works on planet Earth. You have to be hurting inside when you do wrong, or outside. Any hurt is the correct payment for your transgression. Till you learn, oh, since I don't want to hurt, I have to act right. Bingo. First moment of clarity ever. Good. Now I've not heard anything else. 8 p.m. Did you break your promise? And now the bullshit, the reframing, the I will control, I am Miss Snake, power. It never ends. The clarification, shut the fuck up. Just for starting a sentence like that, you go to hell, go smash your head against the rock. That's it. Everything is just for dreaming to start a sentence like this is your fucking damnation. Idiots. Don't even, just the fucking substance is missing, kill yourselves. Fucking as your punishment, you stupid idiots. More bullshit. Clarification. It's all dominance attempting. Never do it, hurt yourselves. Morons. I went there, I told you I don't have time for discussion because I go to church. I came to give you food. What? I said don't give me nothing. Oh, right. No. This is her description of what happened the prior few days ago when we were in that kitchen of mine discussing, when she was like, he's not an idiot. So let's look closely and see what we've got going on here. I came to give you food since you told me I'm hungry. When I was there, I was putting food in the fridge, which made you very angry since I didn't look at you. Right, that's an extremely basic understanding of what the fuck's going on. Slightly more conceptually sophisticated and nuanced, but correct, is, yeah, I'm basically talking to you about the wrongs you're doing after the fucking smug, there's nothing needed, blah, blah, blah. And instead of talking to me properly, she's just turning around. Again, the same bullshit that she got in trouble for that time when Kat was in my house in 2020 that got her fucking, I made it seem like she was at risk to get punched in the face just to program her lizard brain. But 3 years later, lizard brain wore off the programming and it's back to, no, see, look how weird it is. It's like, even when you traumatize them to not ever turn their back to you in disrespect, they will still turn their back in disrespect again. So it just has to keep being a chain of pain. It has to keep hurting you until it's like, I would never dream of turning my back. Then you finally love your son for the first time ever. Yeah, you get it, you idiot? But in her mind, it's like completely normal to say, I don't understand. I was just turning my back to you and then you got mad. Yeah, dumbass, because when I'm talking to you, you're not doing all this shit. You give me the respect when I'm talking to you. You speak to me like it's fucking the Pope speaking to you, you fucking dumbass. Because you wronged me, so you are not my mother. You're a piece of shit and I'm the God you serve, which you're supposed to correctly serve, till you pay back the debt, then maybe one day you'll be forgiven to be a good mother again. You pay when you wrong anyone. But when you're stupid enough to wrong your son, that's the most embarrassing, because now you have to be a servant to your own children. Amen. That's why mothers and fathers never cross their sons. Because God forbid you have to be beneath your own children. Because then naturally when you wrong them, you become their servant karmically. But you keep choosing it. So I only keep holding you to account. So stop wronging your children. All right? But the reframe is here. The reframe is, well, I'm good. See, first I'll mention church, so that's good. See, church. And then, I just came to give you food. You're hungry. So I'm benevolent. See, it never stops. And when I was there, I was giving you the... See, so it contextually gaps what actually happened. It wasn't that she was helping me put food in my fridge. So what was wrong? It's so good. No. By that point already, the argument started. You did the wrong thing, which was falsely defend someone who's indefensible. That incurs the guilt. I correctly rebuke you for it. And instead of facing me with remorse saying, I'm sorry, she then turned her back and began doing other shit that I didn't tell her. I didn't give you permission to do anything in my house. At that point, when you're in guilt debt to me, you're not on task to do anything for me, and I don't want anything from you. So don't self-autopilot command to give yourself permission that I never gave you to start doing things around me for me. You ain't doing nothing for me. But when you try to do that for me, it's only used as an attempt to try to, let's see, I'm going to do things for you. Because number one, I'm mom God, so I can decide what I do. And secondly, if you interrupt me, then I have a frame to try to twist it on you. But see, we're too smart for that. Because when I correctly call you out on that now, we all see like, actually, yeah, if it's true what he says, literally line by line, that one, first, you indefensibly defended him, that other guy, the boyfriend, right? I see. So he'd be mad at you, your son. He would be, yes, of course. Okay, next. Then, yeah, if you see your son is mad at you while you're in his house, everything else stops. Everything else stops. And if he asked you something or said something or whatever, and he's expecting like an interface conversation, he's facing you, and then you like turn and kept your back to him and tried to like ignore it essentially to do other things, right? If that is what was happening, then then John would be right, because that's also like an insult. Why would you do that? That's like trying to twist and change the subject and ignore it and move to other things and try to basically dominate the course of events. What's going on there? But if you're the wrongdoer to begin with, which you are in hindsight, then you also lose the right, and you never had the right, Barbara, to do those things as you did there. So I'm going to put food in the fridge, see, I'm good. See, no, that's just the bullshit. That's just fake dressing around your actions to try to appear with the illusion that you're this good princess. But we're calling you out for it now correctly. You see it clear. Then next. So she corrected me, you're angry since I didn't look at you. That's right. You act with respect. And when you do something wrong, it's doubly disrespectful to then act as if like, well, I'm not going to look at you and I'm going to just do things around you and I'll decide what happens in your house now. No, you don't. Dignity. Learn the program of Earth once and for all, for the first time ever, finally. Dignity is the master concept. Everything else flows down from that. If doing anything is against my dignity, then that's what sin is. You don't do that. That right there. We understand this very easily. Next. I was trying to leave, but here the twist continues to, well, then I was trying to leave, but you stopped me and were trying to talk. Okay, so by the correct narrative, so first Barbara entered into more wrongdoing, which we established, we see clear, right? So at that point, are you merited morally to leave? No. If you insist to leave, maybe you could leave, but you shouldn't be showing an inclination to leave, because you owe something there. You just crossed someone's dignity. You don't get to go into their house, insult them gravely, And then once it's like a hit and run, once you did it, now you get to conveniently leave because, oh, I don't want to deal with the repercussions of this. So I will go. Right. See, that's the spin job. So that's not allowed. So that's not right. So, but when you reframe it as a sick woman who wants to continue the spin, it's, I was trying to leave. You stopped me. Not like crazy stop, like I'm gonna fucking violate. No, it's like stop me to try to talk. Exactly right, because you owed to be in payment of the thing that you owe, which is the moral accountability for the transgression you did. You understand this? Did you pay with respect? You pay. Next, I told you I will designate the time to talk to you, but you're getting more angry. Yes, because I'm not a fucking thing that you decide when you're gonna fucking pay. You commit a crime, when the court arrests you, you get to go tell the judge, I don't feel like dealing with that charge. What, you want me in here on the 25th? I'm not planning to be in jail for some time. I'll tell you when I have time to come to jail, okay? And we'll play jail later. No, stupid. When you're guilty, you lose all your rights. You don't get to unilaterally tell me what the fuck you're going to do in a way that is disrespectful to me. You ask me if it's okay to work something out, and then again, and you secure my agreement. Anything else is an insulting gesture to me, because it's trying to show you, it's you trying to show that even though you're guilty, you're not really guilty. See that? Even though you clearly did wrong, you don't really have to pay. You're still God. You're still immune. No, you're not. Cut this woman's foundations from under her. Next. You even spit at the food and at me. That's not correct. Another misframing. I resent this completely and is not true. But it's sick that you even try to put this. I never spit at my mother. I spit on the ground in contempt when I was talking to her, and I said, what? This and this, that is disgusting. And on my house, on my sovereign floor, I do this gesture to spit down, go, puh, to show it's a contempt that I show. I spit so that you see, like, that's how I feel about what you're doing. Puh, I spit on the ground beside her to show that is what you are. That is the lowness of this shit. And that's my prerogative. I will always spit on the ground near you to show you that you evoke spit from me because of your disgusting things. But you don't have a right to text me days later to say, you were spitting near me. No. You lose all rights the moment one toe went out of line, and you only owe begging, and I'm your God now. There's no other choice. Nothing else happens. You seem to be a little twisted. It's when you anger me to that point where you see you're angering, go back to the Christian principle. Anytime your son is being brought to anger, it's your fault. So therefore, you're the one who needs to stop it. We already established that. And then if you're not stopping it, you will naturally cause your son to become a pit bull. So I will spit and yell and point and even do as much as gesture a grabbing of your arm the way my friend did to me. And I never held her to wrongdoing because that's not wrong. Her arguing with me was wrong because she wasn't wrong on the merits. Her grabbing my arm wasn't wrong. See the difference? Me spitting on the ground is not wrong, but you reframing it incorrectly to spin it. I love how I don't love it, but I'm making fun of you because you're stupid. You keep putting the spin to make, you love it. You're addicted to making me look worse than I really am. So it's imbued in your instinct. When my son spits on the ground near me, I'll process it in my woman brain like, he spit at me, yeah, And you'll write back to me later as if that's how it is. I didn't spit at you. I don't even remember what the fuck I wrote afterwards, but I'm curious to see what I wrote in response to this. I probably denied it correctly as it was live and fresh, and I'm insulted that you would even say something so twisted. For now, I'm telling you for sure, here, definitely did not happen that way. That's the woman's twist, though. No, when God is near you spitting down on his floor, every person you wrong becomes your God. That's the karmic lesson in life. That's why you don't wrong people, because you're making them have power over you. You're giving it to them. That's why I don't wrong people. I don't want anyone having power over me. But you give them moral karmic power over you every time you wrong them, because you give them jurisdiction to karmically rain on you. I don't want no one raining on me. So I treat everyone perfect so that no one could ever have a claim against me. And that's how I become a god of sorts. When you people dupe yourselves into harming me, I don't get you back in a sense that I will just collect the claim and then reign over your karmic souls. And then you wonder why you're never getting out from under it. Because you don't understand the rules of this universe very much. So you don't understand when you play spin games like this, you're not actually looking better in a way that you're like slick now, you're cool. No, you keep fucking indebting yourselves to me. The karmic cruncher just keeps churning on your head more. See? And you never figure that part out, humanity. That's where you have the slowness a little bit. A little too much. So, and here's the reframe afterwards. And then, of course, spitting at the food and at me. I didn't spit at the food. First of all, if you're bringing food to me while you're being nasty to me, I signify I spit on anything you give to me where you give it to me alongside abuse, because such gift will not be accepted. So I told her, I don't want food from you. You're only allowed the privilege of bringing me food when you're in good accord with me. For being stupid enough to break accord with me, I don't want anything from you. That's policy. By the way, that's also karmic policy. If I accept things from you that are gifts, that makes a problem for me. So I know the rules of the game. So I'm not going to accept gifts from you. So, and then you didn't understand. Like, what? No, food. So I'm like, no, you're not understanding. And then I gestured the spitting towards the food like, puh. I have contempt for any gift you give, so it's not for me. And then spit about what you're doing, your actions on the floor. Puh. Your actions are contemptible. I spit at that too. So now you know. You've been correctly, properly rebuked. But go back to the quote on rebuke. A wise person loves it when you rebuke them. Only the fucking stupid scoffers are the ones who hate it and come back with a dumb twist psychopathic game. So we just keep seeing what you really are. Always remember the master controlling context, which is the moment you fuck up, you were a slave. You have no rights anymore. That's why you never fuck up, because you're a slave. The moment you did it, every punishment is on you. It's not abuse. That's what the law is. The moment you make a crime, you are in chains, literally shackled from that moment until every future moment that is where it's all completely processed, which could take months to years. Like, you literally become the United States or the state's slave. It's not a joke. The principles enshrined in karmic law. The moment you do wrong, you lose your rights to freedom. You don't get to be free. Now you are obligated to be in a chronic state of servitude and payment and regretting till you paid the debt. There's nothing else. And probation and jail and servitude and getting crushed. That's beautiful justice. So the policy of that extends to all aspects of life. So you're not immune from that. I told you it's more horrendous when you're a mother or father who perpetuates wrong against their children. You're not immune because you're the mother or father. If you are the father or the mother of the person you're abusing, you're even lower now. The debt is higher. See it? That's clarity from God for the first time ever. So the spin here is that gesturing spit at the food and at you is abusive. No. When you treat me in such a contemptible way as to arouse my anger, the natural manifestation of my anger, that's theater for you. I'm showing you spitting, so I'm programming your reptile brain. Do I have the prerogative to program your reptile brain? Yes. The moment you cross against me, I have God backing me going, it's okay to show her that because that's you helping her brain learn, which is my manly duty. I have God right to help you learn because you're slow. I'm supposed to spit because you didn't learn it the first time when I said it with my words alone. So first and only chance is I'll say it nice once. Did you get it now? No. Okay. So now monkey see, monkey do. So now I have to see actions. Hands waving, spitting, or whatever other theater I have to perform so that your mind sees actions that are associated with your wrong to tie the threads together. All of this in service to God. All of this in service to my God, who commands me to punish you for your wrong. That's good. He says that's good punishment. I'm supposed to be punishing you by higher increments in a coordinated manner. It's all for your learning, for your learning, for your learning. But you want to dominate and invert by making it, no, I will be the one teaching and you will be learning. So the shit will never end until we realize who is actually right. The one who's right is the one who was innocent at the moment that the other one did the first wrong thing. That person is preserved right forever. And anything that happens after that is fucking all the travesty that accrues to the one-sided who dared to do the first wrong thing. You take the liability for it all, because under the premise of equity, once you have the first unclean hand, you permanently forever lose the right for all objection for anything after that. You screw yourselves, people. And I'm teaching you how to live correct moral law. Always. Now, next line. It was no reason to be violent. Let's analyze the situation. What did I say happened during that scene in that day? I grabbed my mom's arm. What's the definition of violence? The exertion of substantial physical force so as to injure. That is, an exertion of force that is consistent with the object and aim of producing damage. Was I acting in a way to produce genuine damage in any way towards or at or around my mother? The answer is no. And no reasonable claim has been made other to the contrary, and is not true and not possible. But again, the woman clings to the spin. So remember, if it wasn't actually violence, the woman's spin programming, backed by psychopathy and devil inversion programming, will be to write back to your son to spin, to be addicted to the slant game of false words, new domination. But the domination is based on falsehood. God will continue stomping on your head. You see, I hate this shit. I hate people who don't speak correctly and act correctly. I was not violent. So your false claim of it was no reason to be violent. Well, I don't accept that it was violence, and neither do you. Genuinely, you know you're lying and you're too twisted sick. And Anthony's told you the same thing. He told me that he made it clear to you what violence means. I'm not going to deal with you anymore to tell you these things. But he told you, he said. So therefore you should know. So at this point, you are the one who's wrong, because you falsely accuse me here of being violent, and you falsely accuse me of being abusive, which is a slander to my character. I was not abusive. Do I retain? Let's analyze it morally. Number one, was it an insult for you to behave and react the way you did? The answer is yes. Therefore, you are wrong. Once you're wrong, do I have the right at that moment? You grant me the right of rebuke? Yes. Through your actions? Yes. Once I exercise the right that you've granted me, my entitlement to rebuke you, when I use that right of rebuke, which may constitute anything ranging from gestures to words to non-injurious physical contact, am I abusing you by exercising such right of rebuke? The answer is no. That's correct. Godly loving. That's called help your dumb neighbor learn something. Stuka on the fucking guava till you fucking learn, morons. Yes, good. Next, once they fail to learn, are you correct to continue showing, mimicking, aping, and otherwise reinforcing you're stupid, you fucking moron? The answer is yes. That is good. Judge says support of you. Good. Me. And the other one, wrong. Good. See that? Very clear. No other moral principle on this earth operates in existence. Right? That's it. That's fucking it. Wake up. So, but hey guys, because of the false spin, remember guys, when you abuse your son for years, bring in a boyfriend to abuse him even more, and then you cheat him out of the apology he deserves for years, but keep calling the police on him, keep trampling on his dignity, and then once you gave him a false friendship for a few months, only to bring the boyfriend back and then lambast your own son falsely and then turn your back on him in his own house when he's trying to get an accounting for it. I don't need to be sorry that I did all that. I'll continue reframing here on the screen with this shit. It will never end when you're sick. Purge the sickness. Stop it once and for all. Then you're finally fucking free spiritually for the first time ever. Get it? That's right. So I'm fucking completely fucking right. Amen. Not extremely abusive. I was not violent. That's a false attribution. So get a karmic curse for daring to sustain a false claim against me. Hurt you, hurt you, hurt you. See? You'll be hurt soon. From God, for sure. I hope and pray it is so. Next. But the spin is, I don't feel safe going to your apartment. I never threatened you. So you have no reasonable cause to feel unsafe. And that's a principle very strongly established at law. It's very strong. Where there's things in law that say, you can't cause fear in people, and reasonably feared and threatened, it has to be what's called reasonable, which means every person in the world would feel the same fear. They don't, because everyone else is normal. It's only you making a twist, so we exposed your twist for what it is. A twist. And nothing else. So the shame is, you're not allowed to, the further insult, this is an offense. It's a further insult to try to pose the fucking game. It's like the insurance scam where I'm going to pretend to be hit by a car and then that guy's insurance has to pay me because I'm framing a staged game. That's what this is like. Oh, I don't feel safe in your apartment. I'm your son, you fucking moron. And you wronged me. Even if you didn't feel safe because you wronged me, your moral obligation is to accept and eat the liability and the problem. Like, too bad you don't feel safe around him. You're his mom and you fucked up around him. You shouldn't feel safe around him, yet you must still go apologize and beg. That's your only duty. You see how that works? So even if you didn't feel safe reasonably, you still have to accept the risk that you're not safe to come through that and beg, I'm sorry, 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 please forgive me, please forgive me. That's it. That's correct morality. But of course, there is no actual threat to safety. I was arguing with you in a normal way, very similar to how Isabella and me were arguing weeks later in that way. No one is unsafe. But you're staging to try to twist it that way is the sick thing of all. So curse you for framing it falsely too. See, every charge will hold. Next. I will be hiring clinical psychologists to help me deal with all the issues. There's a little bit of framing in there too. The issues are squarely your own. So I resent and reject any insinuation or implication that there's any issue outside of it. I've been too good to you and responsible and moral enough for sure. Next. Hope to see this person by the end of the week. It's been 8 months. Nothing's happened. You people are full of shit. So screw you all. In the meantime, you should try to get your food stamps and rent help. Yeah, there's problems with that too. Sent you pictures, blah, 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 blah. Now what's... my reply is the only reasonable one. You are a disgusting and bad mother. You said with your words that you would return later, and you did not. Therefore, you lie. That's it. No excuses. If you said a promise and you didn't stick it, you just change your mind. Flexo, changeo. I'm God. I don't have to do it. Even God keeps his promises. So this is only sickness. So you're liable for that too. Get the karmic curse for having told me a broken promise. Boom, boom. You'll break a leg tomorrow. So, yes, good. Hurt until you realize, can't let myself get hurt through my own stupidity. Can't let myself get hurt through my own stupidity. I'll be cursed every time I screw other people. I'll be screwed and cursed every time I trample on other people's dignity. Yes. Now when I become a worshiper and lover of everyone around me, hallelujah. That's what God told you in the book. Said, love everyone always. That's how I'm free of bad shit. Perfect. When we all do that, heaven on earth. Pure society. See the holiness? Holy. But beautifully smart, isn't it? Now you realize how wonderful and important it is to really hold that. You are all the ones who screw up yourselves for yourselves when your society sucks. Next, I say you are not justified. I'm right. I'm siding with myself. Of course, it's so obvious. Next, you are never permitted to dramatize against your own king's son, you moron. Good. Did I retain the right of rebuke? Yes. Rebuke is not nice. I don't have to be nice. When you are like this bad, to the point it's not negligence, but it's recklessness, you're transgressing against God himself when you transgress against any human being ever, anywhere. So he becomes like God over you. That's correct balancing of the universe. Don't ever be a parent to let your son be God over you by committing wrongs against your son. So perfect. You're perfect. Next, you don't have service in love to your own male adult child. You're worthless and evil, therefore, as I see it, and it's a correct vision. That is correct. It is evil. Shame on you. Good. I'm patting myself on the back. That's correct, John. You said the correct thing at the correct time to reinforce the correct position, which is you're wrong, and therefore instruct the dumb monkey who doesn't learn. You should feel shame for that. Okay, so instruct the dumb monkey to feel shame. Shame. Yes. Once you have shame, now you fucking have a first chance finally to grow away off of this stupid sick shit. All right. Oh, good. I also did not spit on you. That's correct. My memory now matches what it of course. Of course it matches. Only Barbara's the shit that doesn't match. You keep seeing that over and over, though, don't we? For ourselves, very clearly, every fucking time here. I did not spit on you. That's a complete lie, I even said. Wow. My memory at this time was better than it is now, but I believe myself. But your instinct is to even dream to try to frame it up that way towards a predesignated slant of your own predesignation that results in you being less harmonized with your son instead of more harmonized is the thing that's sick and evil. Oh my God, I love myself. Oh my God, I'd marry myself if I could. That's beautiful. Bless you, John. You're doing God's work right here. Amazing. Thank God for that. Oh my God, I'm so good. That's perfect. Why didn't anyone else do this? This is exactly perfect living. Oh my God. Yes, I'm so good. I'm so amazing. No coincidence too, I even wrote that when this piece of shit is back, your boyfriend, in your life, that's also when you start treating your son worse. Very interesting. It is on that I spit. That's exactly right. That's what I spat on. But my mom doesn't have context framing. So when I spit that, her broken brain goes, oh, no, she's spitting on me. No, stupid. I spit on what you're doing. It's a gestural spit of contempt, but correct contempt that should be had for the things you do, which are wrong. So when you are the wrongdoer that's seeing, oh, no, I've brought someone to be caused to rebuke me for the wrong I've done, your role is to go, fuck, I'm sorry. I have fucked up. That's why religion's obsessed with confession. Confess means I admit I'm dumb. I admit I suck. I admit I'm stupid. It doesn't matter you go to confession on Saturdays. You don't confess to the actual ones you've wronged. But God said, don't even bring your gifts to the altar and to church. We don't want to hear from you. You go to the one you wronged first and get a fucking confession to them first and let them forgive you. Then you come here and have a relationship with God. God don't want to hear from you until you fix it with them first. Every Jew and Christian knows this. Insofar, I continue, as the subject matter and purpose of our discussion was to bring reconciliation and fixing, sure was. And when I stressed that it results in you being a fucking bitch again, that's right. You know what? It's not nice, but even me to use this language here, I would say that her act, all of this that she did, which is here, that's called insult on top of injury. Once you do that, you invite what would be considered every natural expression from a sovereign male. So I'm not regulated in speech. If you have caused me to become to the point of wrath, which me expressing this and writing to you is me being in a state of wrath. Go to the Bible. Who's liable when a parent has allowed their son to take on a state of wrath towards them? The parent. Getting clear yet, class? I hope so. Continues on. And I can smell his involvement. I'm always right. I smelled his involvement before, ends up, the 911 call came from his phone, not hers. I'm extremely fucking perceptive. You're not getting anything over me. I hope not. And you shouldn't even be dreaming to. Shame on you. And now, fake campaigns against me? That's right. Called it out here, and I called it out correctly there. Thank you, John. So, you know what? That is it. Be very clear. If you do not fix this issue within 72 hours, I will begin to place curses on his life and on his soul. And my curses, as you have seen, do not ever miss. Pay close attention here, guys. You're going to find something very interesting. Let's put yourselves in her position. You see a son whose curses don't miss, but you actually have a freaky fucking and already expressed awe of how he says things and then they happen. It's like, that's fucking 1 in a million billion. That shouldn't be. Who are you? Are you God? What the fuck is this? I'm not, but we are of God when we match our nature to the one that is correct. And when that one has power, you obtain the same sort of extension of power in a sense. So when one who bears this power makes it clear that if you don't atone for the immorality you've just shown, you sustain the liability for allowing curses to fall on this guy, or he who also has owed has also abstained from paying what he owes morally to me, which is the repentance. What is a reasonable test? Okay, if I'm the woman and I realize I did wrong and my boyfriend did wrong and we're all collectively sitting in the guilty pot together and I keep abusing my son, and then he has these cursing powers and they land, and then he makes it clear he's going to curse people in my life and we're all going to continue to suffer more, but it's God mediated, so it implies that if the curse, so that's not my son coming to attack me wrongly, no, it's him making God have the permission, and then God himself certifies it by going, yes, I agree they're wrong, so because it comes through God, not from me directly, so therefore it's as if God approved it. So if God approved it, that means I really was wrong, so he would deserve it. Well, damn, my son has called curses before, then they really did land. That means God mediated those two, which means we really were wrong, which means, well, I love God, so why am I hurting him? Oh, you see that? That's logical thinking. So when you're the woman in that position, it then goes, so if I receive notice in advance that I may sustain a curse, or that he might, and then I don't do anything about it, who does the liability of the curse taking place transfer to? Is the liability on me? No. The liability now falls and transfers, moves to her. Because I received notice, but I didn't repudiate, I didn't rebut it or deny the validity of it, but I instead further cemented that I have contempt for my son, who actually is the right one in this situation, but I'm wrong. So therefore, is that not an insult both to your son, as if because that's proverbially spitting on him, and an insult against God because you're proverbially spitting on him because you're breaking his laws in how you're allowing this dysfunction to manifest? So if you're therefore a reasonable woman in this position, what would the only thing now therefore be? Is this, therefore the only option left is, the only thing I could do that's morally acceptable is I have to yield and concede to my son and apologize. I can't do anything else, because if this is the situation that I brought this whole thing to, where I'm being threatened with a curse now, rightfully, correctly, and I just say, and I snub my nose, turn up my nose at it, like snub with arrogance, I risk my boyfriend's life, because a tree might fall on his head, lightning might strike him, and if that were to happen, and his soul in the death in hell becomes angry at me, Barbara, I was with you, I got cursed and killed, but you knew, your son gave you an advance warning, you had every right to protect me by making sure we knew so that we could apologize to that guy so that these things wouldn't happen. Now I'm dead and God's torturing me, but you knew that you could have apologized and atoned, and you withheld it. So you see, even his soul would have a claim against you because you recklessly allowed it. Why don't you people think about these things? This is exactly why the earth is a mess today. You people don't even fucking think about anything. So no fucking surprise. So in an objective analysis that takes into account the whole picture, what it actually looks like is, yeah, it's recklessly omitting. It's a reckless, non-good taking on an appropriation of the responsibility and the morally due actions. Therefore, Barbara is wrong. If you're letting these things happen where you're not supposed to be letting them happen, that's a wrong that you're doing. That's a wrong. And now I've clearly covered and established this. As we move on next, I say very clearly, you've been warned. So fix it and act like a correct, godly, and loving mother with correct intentions. Parentheses, withdrawal from a son as a mother is never permitted in God's design. Can't find one place in the Bible where it's instructed or permitted to do that. Therefore, it's always a sin to do that. So where she's showing that's wrong. So therefore, it's punishable by curse. Next, if you fail to do this by your awareness, you will create the jurisdiction necessary by your actions for the curses to attach to his life. It is my privilege to express my righteous anger to you when you are wrong. Exactly right, exactly. That's correct. Good, this should be a course. Put this on fucking YouTube master course. How to live life correctly. Copy this formula, all of you will have perfect living. Good. Good. Every bad thing that happens to me has a transferred usefulness somewhere else at least. Good. Just like Christ atoned by getting killed so that you could all live, I'm getting killed by my mom, karmically by insult, so that you can all benefit by having me evoke and show what a beautiful living program looks like so you could copy it and live while my mom abuses me. So that I could sacrifice myself in that abuse to you. You see? Isn't it all fucking sick or what, huh? Yeah. Well, here it is. The correct program. What does it look like? You were wrong. That's why I yell at you. When you are wrong, you have no rights anymore to do anything except listen and apologize. Correct. Because you broke this by trying to turn it around above there. That's right. I was correct there. Yeah. This is a big karmic problem for you. I'm explaining to the dumb one how correct karmic energy systems work. You need to learn these things. Next, I almost have no food again. Starving. No money. Okay, if I'm your son and you owe me motherly things, what is this? Letting you know. Letting you know. Yep. Any additional suffering I go through because of your callousness, negligence, anything else, all of that karmically attaches to you. So here's your notice, here's your warning. And it'll attach to him as well. You're all in the same pot together. God will force terrible payments upon your household there when you do not live and operate correctly, but try to bend it all to suit your bad idea of how you think fucking life should go. It's already, see, but now because it's several months later and we see how bad it was, all that would not have happened. It only happened because she made it this way here. If she chose a different path, we wouldn't be here today. So is this not self-evidencing how true it is that when she does that, only bad things can come of it? So when masters over the ages with long beards see these trends happening over and over, they correctly encapsulate and preserve these principles into law and write them in scripture. So it is true after all, isn't it? When you violate fucking certain principles, these things will tend to happen. It's real not good for you. No food, no money. I've called them every day. I'm doing my part, but I'm having a hard time. Good. I was not violent. I didn't hit you. You're lying again. Good, John. Correct. Amen. Next. So for all this, all the pain will accrue to your household and to those other people who are approximate cause of the motivations behind the running of your delusions at me. I'm not kidding you. God will hit hard if I don't see a change within 72 hours. And a showing that you are here for your son and not against him. I don't even need a comment here. It's just kind of obvious. Like, it's all like, yeah, duh. Yeah, duh. I did nothing wrong. That's the part you need to get. And you are the one who owes me an apology. This is for sure. High five, John. Fucking 4.5, 4.7 stars out of 5. Love it. Next. She says, you did spit on me. So, first of all, I definitely didn't. But I denied it correctly. But then to frame control, she says it again. All right, well, I resent you for... You shouldn't even be challenging me. For sure I didn't spit on you. If there's any accidental spit that went totally sideways in a different direction and clipped you sideways, I definitely never saw it. And you never called me out on it then to say, hey, that you spit on me. So number one, for sure, on the moment there, you never claimed that I spit on you. It didn't happen that way. Obviously, if it was spitting at you, you would have reacted in a way that's consistent with that. No, you watched me spit on the floor as a gesturally, and then you make a fucking twist now. I don't believe it. The evidence is not in support of you on account of how it's turned out. And I rightfully denied it. And trust me, when it comes to people's perception, I can guarantee you, by an extremely immense track record, my perception about how things go have a fantastic fucking record of being extremely much more reliable than the way you make claims about things when we actually investigate to see how they hold up. And we know that too. So therefore, the weight of anything you say is fucking shit when it contrasts against what I'm saying. I promise you. That, thank God, at least through my life. Because I invest so fucking hard in making sure my word is fucking ironclad perfect. You know how much work that takes? You know how fucking hard it is to fucking keep that perfect through life? You never lie. You never misspeak. You know how fucking much it takes? But there's payoff. It means when you fucking say something, you could bet motherfucking money. I'm not going to dispute this shit anymore. I said it once. If you falsely accuse me again, take it up with God. As far as I'm concerned, I'm innocent of this bullshit. And as far as a witness would be concerned, a preponderance of evidence does not support you here. It would support me on account of a higher credibility as established long-term over time, plus the fact that I establish and show that for sure, and you would not deny this either, your reaction at the time was not consistent with me spitting on you. I didn't spit on you. But even if I would have, I don't even know what to say. If I would have, you would have deserved that for being reckless enough to be the proximate cause of recklessly creating even a risk that I would react in such a way. Because of how not merited the original offense was, it would have been the predicate for such a spit. So in a parallel universe where I decided to purposely spit on you with intent, because you're accusing me of having done so here with intent. I say, well, for sure not. I was gesturing at the floor. So therefore, I'm innocent in terms of the intent to spit at you. So therefore, it doesn't matter if there was a side spit that happened to hit you or not. It's a show. Life is a play of events that have to do with the manifestations of intentionality. So it's all about, again, that exposes the fact that you only keep trying to reframe. The reframe job will never work with me. It doesn't work. Okay. But that's that for now. In a parallel universe, even if that one were to spit on you, I wouldn't be able to put that down either and say, well, that's uncalled for. I'd say, no, if he was exactly that angry to spit at you, that's exactly the amount of anger you're liable for allowing your son to take on. So in fact, oh yeah, this is a big God transmission right here. You know what the real godly principle is? In such a parallel universe where I would have, same exact circumstance, but instead I was brought to spit at you, in that universe, in that parallel dimension over there, you would even be more guilty there because I spat on you than this one here where I didn't intentionally spit on you. Because if in that parallel dimension my anger was because of you brought to that higher level, you're that much more guilty because the level of anger you brought me to was that much higher, so that's the proportion of guilt that bears on you. Do you understand now how this life it works in this universe of God? So if I did spit on you, that only would make you more guilty for having done things that would bring me to the point where I'd be spitting on you. Because the moral obligation is don't do things that cause other people to spit at you. Do you understand how morality and God work now, Barbara? That's the truest fucking thing I've said all damn day. There's a lesson. But let's observe how the spin machine woman, broken brain woman, continues to operate this year. Even if we have some issues, this isn't allowed. Wrong. Why is it wrong, class of karma? Because if a parent, especially a woman will tend to do this a lot, if a woman, a girlfriend, a wife, a parent, or any such type who has a twisted mind programming, and often it's a feminine type programming, where they believe that even if there's an issue, that is not allowed. No. That's their way of saying, even if I perpetuate wrong, you're not allowed to what exactly? Uh-oh. Be very, very careful of what you say is allowed and not allowed. First of all, are you God? No. And as long as your actions aren't consistent with God, you definitely cannot claim to be of the same nature of God, such as to pronounce things that are consistent with that realm. Insofar as I am, to the extent that I am, is my prerogative to be able to do so from my end here. That's why it comes from me and not from you or anyone else around me, it seems. So sad, though. I wish it were all of us together. It would be so easy and nice that way, wouldn't it? But, so let's see what the false spin, the devil will soak your mind to make you come up with principles that closely resemble godly principles, but when you put the pedal to the metal and the rubber on the road and you really hit the test, you find that and then finally you will distinguish why the twisted one, it kind of mimics a little bit. They say the devil, the satanic elements, they're mimickers, okay? The actual angel or element from heaven says, I'm the true pure thing. The satanic one wears a costume of a fake angel to pretend that he's an angel too. And you will only be able to differentiate them through wisdom by seeing what the extension of the effects are, what the implications are. So let's see which paradigm enforces true justice on this world. Is it number one, but the woman's mind will be the one that conflates. So often we'll see that this woman mind is the one that fails to produce the real full thing. That's why men run the world for so long. Only once you started chemicals in the water did we lose the edge. It's not good. And women get false confidence. No, you're dumb all along as you were back then. Even if we have some issues, this isn't allowed. I want to analyze this a little more and then we'll continue on. We'll break here briefly and we'll continue very soon.